Our job with this Southampton team is to get them back to the Premier League. Nice and simple. Last season obviously was absolutely disastrous, and I know this as a Southampton fan because I suffered through it. When I look at the board's plan for this season, they want us to gain automatic promotion to the Premier League, not go up through the playoffs, not be competitive and maybe get promotion. They want us to get promoted without a shadow of a doubt. That is literally their main objective. They also quite like us to be competitive in the FA Cup. I don't really know what that means. And they want us to be competitive in the Carabao Cup. Again, I don't really know what that means. Is it like, just get through a few rounds and that's probably fine. They also want us to have the best youth development system in the Championship and the country. We're probably up there in the Championship. Obviously, longer term, they want to look to build on our promotion to the Premier League and then just keep looking to build on the promotion to the Premier League, by the looks of it. Yeah, we've got a very tough job for Season 1. And what has made it even harder is I have decided that we are not going to be doing any transfers in the opening transfer window. So during the game setup, I basically said we can't do transfers in the first transfer window. Obviously, when we get to January, we will be able to do some transfers. But Season 1, Transfer Window 1, we aren't doing anything, which means we have this squad to work with. Obviously, lots and lots of players have been loaned out already. We've got a few players here who I've kind of called up from the under-21s and things. I'm just investigating because I can apparently send people out on loan to feeder clubs. Moses Sesse might be going to a feeder club. I don't know whether that's actually going to happen or not, but we can do it. I'm hoping no one else does any transfers through this transfer window because I kind of want everyone's squad to be as is at the moment in the Championship. From a formation perspective, we are going to go with a 4-2-3-1 in both in and out of possession. So in possession, it is going to be this 4-2-3-1. Out of possession, it's going to be this 4-2-3-1. I guess that's more of a 4-4-1-1. Basically, the wing backs going to drop back a little bit. It might change slightly depending on personnel and things like that, but this is what I'm kind of going to go with. I'm not sure who we're going to lock in, if we're going to lock in anybody for any positions at the moment, but I think we're going to definitely have to lock in Bazunu, because he's not our number one goalkeeper. If you do a quick pick, that becomes McCarthy, and Alex McCarthy is 35 years old, and I would like to have a young, up-and-coming goalkeeper, even though Bazunu, in real life, hasn't been particularly good. I think Football Manager still ranks him pretty highly, though. He's worth £15.5 to £18.5 million, 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. Talking of current ability and potential, or more specifically just current ability, we have got a whole host of players who are actually considered our best players. We've got no outstanding footballer, like no one who's kind of head and shoulders above the rest, but we have, 8 players on 3.5-star current ability. So we have Mads Rosalev, who is obviously our right back, or will be our right back. We've got Finn Azaz, who unfortunately is out injured, and will be out injured for 4 to 6 weeks by the looks of it. Taylor Harwood-Bellis, another player who's currently out injured, although it's only a moderate injury. He's out for 12 days to 4 weeks. It's not that moderate. Flynn Downs also out injured at 3 to 5 weeks for Flynn Downs, but another player who is a 3.5-star current ability. Casper Yander, another player, 3.5-star current ability. I really like Casper Yander. I think he's going to be a great player for Saints in real life. Hopefully he can kind of do the same thing for us in Football Manager. Ronnie Edwards, who I think will probably be one of our star players this season. He is still only 22, has a heap of potential. I assume he's still got a heap of potential. He did on the last Football Manager game, but then again, he was only 20 when that one came out. Ronnie Edwards, I think, will be one of our mainstays in our starting 11. And if he isn't, I might need to lock him in. We also have Shay Charles, who obviously had a really good season out on loan at Sheffield Wednesday last year. Really good, again, young footballer, high amounts of potential, hopefully, as well on Shay Charles. But I think I might need to lock in Charles as well, because we've got a lot of pretty good central midfielders. I think Charles is maybe number 3 or 4 on that list, which means he might not actually get too much game time. And the other player that we have, who, I think he's going to be a really good player for Southampton this season, assuming they can actually turn things around and start, scoring goals would be quite nice, is Leo Cienza, who is a Brazilian and Luxembourger, who can play on that left wing. I think he's going to be really good. We can actually play him kind of anywhere along those front 3 positions. If we want to play him as a striker as well, we could. We're not going to. We do also have, obviously, a whole host of players. I'm not even going to count them, but we've got that many players. Can we find out? 18 players who are 3-star current ability. So we've got a pretty good squad, particularly for the Championship. I don't know what we're expecting, like what the media predictions are. We know the board want us to get automatic promotion. Can we even do media predictions? I don't even know whether we can anymore. We can, and it's kind of all over the place, but we've managed to find it. So we are expected to finish in 4th place. So Ipswich, Leicester, Sheffield United are all ahead of us. We are expected to be in 4th place. If we finish in 4th, I'd take that as a massive win. Realistically, my targets, I think I said earlier, I might not have done, my targets, I think are going to be playoffs. there's some more information as well for you in case you're interested. I don't know what our transfer budget is. I don't know, is there a way of finding this out? I mean, I've not really needed to have a look because obviously we haven't been able to do transfers. But can we find out our transfer budget? It was 0. We have no transfer budget. Well, that might make January a bit more interesting. We have to sell if we want to buy in January. And can we ask our assistant, he's not our assistant, our chairperson, increase transfer budget? He can. Sure. Anyway, that is the beginning then of Season 1 in charge of Southampton in the FM26 beta release. If you're watching this in the future, this is all recorded in the beta, just in case you weren't aware. We are now going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window where literally no transfers will have taken place, but we'll have a look to see if anything actually does take place, because sometimes these things kind of mess up. So, this is the list of all the transfers that did take place. We did loan out Moses Sese to Göztepe, who is one of our feeder clubs over in Turkey. I don't think we should have been allowed to, but if I scroll through all the other clubs, nobody else has done any transfers. So, the squads are as they currently are, obviously, in the Championship in real life. We have played a few matches, which we will get to in just a moment, but I just want to show you very quickly, this is what I'm going to be playing and locking in as well for the season. So, Bazunu, Edwards and Shea Charles will all be locked in. I think I said that in the first part of the season, but yeah, we're going to lock those 3 players in. Charles has been promised, apparently, that he's going to be a deep-lying playmaker for the season, so we are having to play him as a deep-lying playmaker. I've made Edwards an attacking centre-back. Don't know what that is, but I'm giving that a go to see what happens. And Bazunu will just be a goalkeeper because I don't think he's very good at anything else. So from a results perspective, we have played 4 games in the league, and I think we've played 1 or maybe 2 games in the Carabao Cup, and we are currently sat 4th place in the table, 9 points on the board, which equates to 3 wins and 1 defeat. We beat Wrexham in the opening game of the season. Ryan Manning with 2 penalties, Josh Windass with a goal there. We have beaten Northampton as well in the Carabao Cup, beating them 4-0 away from home. We then lost against Ipswich 1-0, Ben Johnson with the only goal of the game here, and then returning back to winning ways, beating Stoke 3-1. Fellows Manning and Archer. We've been knocked out of the Carabao Cup against West Ham, which I don't really care too much about, and we've just beaten Watford as well 3-1. And the goals from that 3-1 victory I'm going to show you now because I want to show off the new match engine, to be honest. Fellows with the opening goal of the game after 13 minutes and 45 seconds. Very good finish from the former West Brom man. Now in the 19th minute, Sissoko has the ball for Watford on the right-hand side. Plays it across McCarthy, who's our goalkeeper for some reason. Just palms out to Luza, could be his name. And Luza makes it 1-1. Into the second half we go. And it becomes 2-1 early on. It is Fellows to Azaz. Does a lovely little spin. I think it takes a deflection as well of Pollock. Azaz really should be the one claiming that one. And then the final goal of the game after just about an hour. Cienza just about nicks the ball past that defender. Gets past another one. Runs in on goal. Puts it past the keeper. A 3-1 victory at Vicarage Road. So I know I mentioned a lot of these players earlier, but I'm kind of going to earmark 3 players to be my standout performers for the season. Or not performers, but my star players, basically. Shea Charles is one of them. As we know, we are locking him into that defence midfield role. Ronnie Edwards is the second man. Again, we are locking him into that central defensive position. He's wanted by somebody. Who wants him? Burnley want him. Keep your mitts off. And the other one who's somebody who's actually jumped up an entire star rating since the start of the season. That is Tom Fellows, obviously signed from West Brom in the summer in real life. 22 years of age, can play on both flanks. He's now a 4-star current ability right and left winger. He's already got a couple of goals as well. 4 assists in the Carabao Cup too. I think Fellows might be our best player now. And on the flip side, we've got 3 players who I think might be kind of costing us some wins and goals and things like that. So Gavin Bazunu is number 1. I think for Season 2, assuming we're still in charge, we will need to get ourselves a new goalkeeper unless Bazunu suddenly comes on and turns into a world-class keeper. We also have club captain Jack Stevens. Now, he's a bit of a weird one. I think mentally, he's actually kind of... He's okay as a footballer in general, but for some reason... He just has a bad days, he has off days, and I don't think he's really going to be good enough for us. He is getting game time, so it looks like it's Jack Stevens partnering Edwards at the moment. Might need to lock in another central defender. And finally, through no fault of his own, really, is Ross Stewart. He's been injured constantly in real life. I'm hoping that doesn't kind of carry on into Football Manager, because I think he has the possibility to be a really good player for Southampton, but I think Football Manager has obviously taken the last season or 2 seasons into account, where he's been injured for most of it. So yeah, I just don't think he's going to be particularly good for us. He's also 29. Is he really 29? So that is the first transfer window out of the way. Obviously, no transfers actually took place. But hopefully we are able to convince our owner to give us a little bit of money so January is a little bit more interesting as well, because obviously buying players with zero money isn't really going to go very far. Next thing we're going to do then is jump forward to the 1st of January. Obviously we'll play the first half of the season and we'll return and hopefully we can do some transfers. We have made it to the 1st of January and we are luckily, first of all, still in charge of Southampton, because that is a big risk of doing this type of save, because basically if we underperform they might just sack us. We are slightly underperforming. You can see the league table there on the left hand side. We are currently sat in 8th place in the league. We are just 4 points behind 6th place Sheffield Wednesday, so I think we're slightly below target. I said earlier that I think top 6 is where we want to be going. The board want us automatic promotion. I think they'd be happy if we got promoted via the playoffs. If we look at some of the fixtures and results that have taken place, the biggest problem that we've got is actually just holding on to a lead or not drawing, basically. We're not losing a huge amount of games. I think we've only lost maybe 3 or 4 in the league. So we lost against Ipswich, we lost against Middlesbrough, we lost against Derby, and then we've lost a couple recently against Norwich and Coventry. But everything else are wins or draws. Problem is there's too many draws. So just having a look in a bit more depth, we have drawn 9 times this season. 9 draws, which is, I'm assuming, the most. So Leicester, Millwall and Southampton and Blackburn all have 9 draws each. We are the highest positioned side with those 9 draws. Only 5 defeats, which means we are the 6th best team when it comes to defeats, or technically joint 3rd when it comes to losing. So we're not doing horrendous. We're just not winning enough, but we're not losing. We're not winning enough. We're drawing too many. I can't speak properly. But it's fine because obviously it is January. We have now got ourselves a transfer window, and luckily for us, we have ourselves a bit of a transfer budget too. It takes me a very long time to find some of these things, but we found our recruitment budget. So we have £20.5 million worth of transfer budget. So basically what happened is it went up a small amount for some reason in September, then dropped back down again on the 1st of October and has flown all the way up to £20.5 million, which is a lot of money. We've also got a small amount of wage budget, not a lot, £41,099 a week. We've got a bit of scouting budget, but to be honest, I'm not really doing too much scouting at the moment. So when we look at our squad, there's something I need to mention. You can see there Bazunu, Shea Charles and Ronnie Edwards are locked in. The problem is I didn't tick the button on when you go on holiday to say make sure you play these players. So actually some of them, Bazunu has only played 8 times. Shea Charles has actually played quite a lot. Ronnie Edwards has only played 10 starts as well. So Alex McCarthy's played 18 games because I forgot to click a checkbox. Now, what are our transfer targets for the summer? I've got 2 kind of positions in mind. I think maybe we might go for a couple of sort of squad players as well. Position number 1 is that goalkeeper position, because McCarthy, as I think I mentioned before, he is 35. He is out of contract at the end of the season, and I don't want to renew it because he is 35. George Long is not our player, and he's not very good, and Gavin Bazunu is our player, and he's okay, but I think we can probably do better. I think we need a bit more experience, so I'm going to try and find myself an experienced goalkeeper. The other position is going to be at the other end of the pitch, and that is because we have got a few strikers. We've got Armstrong, we've got Downs, Archer, De Pepper, I'm not sure if that's how it's said, and Ross Stewart. However, Ross Stewart, De Pepper, Downs and Armstrong haven't scored any goals, really. Ross Stewart scored 1, Cameron Archer scored 10, and he's currently injured. So if he gets injured, we don't score any goals. We just stop scoring goals completely. We've got Fellows who's been scoring a whole load of goals and getting a load of assists as well. But from a striker position, we've only got Archer. So I need to get myself another first choice striker, someone who can challenge Cameron Archer, and ideally someone who's better than Cameron Archer. £20 million should go a long way. Problem is, we are in the Championship, and I'm not sure our reputation is going to get a huge amount of better players, but we're obviously going to have a look around and see what we can do. Last thing then, having a look at our 3-star players. So we've got Tom Fellows at the top with 10 goals and 12 assists. He's just getting good, isn't he? I'm liking Tom Fellows. I'm thinking he's going to be a good signing in real life as well once he gets properly going. Cameron Archer is our 2nd best performer of the season so far. A whole bunch of goals, although 3 of them have come in the Carabao Cup. Just 7 in the league. And then the 3rd one is Madj Ruslev, which I'm surprised with considering he's only got 1 goal and 4 assists. But playing as a right back, he's getting some high ratings, which is kind of good to see. The next thing we're going to do then is delve into the world of transfers. Like I said, £20.5 million to spend. Let's do some business, see who we can bring in, and I want a goalkeeper and I want a striker. Those are my 2 main targets. There are definitely going to be others as well that come in. So the window's opened and closed, and we have done a few bits of business. Technically, 3 players have joined the club, but there is a 4th who's returned from a loan spell as well, which I had nothing to do with. Apparently, it was only 6 months. We have sold Sofianu Dibaga, not quite sure what his name is. The Spanish left winger was actually out on loan to this team, and he has gone there permanently, although it still says he's a Southampton player. He's not. It's a beta. He's gone to Linares. We have also sold Joe Aribo. Once again, it says he's a Southampton player. He's not a Southampton player. He has moved over to Al Kholoud, possibly in Saudi Arabia, on a free transfer. He was out of contract at the end of the season. I thought, he's not playing, so let's just take him. Just take him off the books. We don't have to pay him any more wages or anything like that. So yeah, he's moved over to Saudi already. The one player who has returned to the club from a loan spell that was only 6 months is James Bree, the right back, who was out on loan at Charlton, I think. He was out on loan at Charlton, basically following his former Luton manager and former Southampton manager over to Charlton on loan, Nathan Jones. He's returned after 14 matches, and then he's already played a couple of times for us, apparently. Fair enough. And new signings in no real particular order. Well, there is a bit of an order to this. It is Calvin Ramsey first up. The Liverpool right back has signed on a permanent deal for £220,000. He's come in as a fringe player. I basically looked and went, he's all right. He was pretty cheap. He's got a bit of potential. He's only 22. We may never see him play. Somebody that we will definitely see play is Leo Jardim, who is a Brazilian goalkeeper, formerly of a whole bunch of teams in Portugal and France, I believe. He's coming on a free transfer, 30 years of age. He will be 31 in a month or so's time, but he's just a better goalkeeper. And I felt like we needed a better goalkeeper. I did say at the start of the transfer window we need a new goalkeeper. Jardim is going to be our number 1 until the end of the season, maybe even next season as well. So he's spent time in Brazil at Vasco da Gama, at Lille. He's gone on loan to Boa Vista, Rio Ave, Grêmio. I believe that's Grêmio was his initial club as well. And Ole Brazil, whoever they are. But I think for a free transfer, this is a very good free transfer. The last player we brought in has cost a lot of money, but I'm hoping it pays off. I'm not going to tell you how much Bailey Cadamarteri has cost yet, but we have signed him from Sheffield Wednesday, so first of all, we might have fixed their financial problems because we've given them a large sum of money. It's 7 figures. Bailey Cadamarteri is a 20-year-old striker, the son of Danny Cadamarteri. I assume it's the son of Danny Cadamarteri. It has to be, doesn't it? Does it even tell us? I mean, I imagine Danny Cadamarteri's not even in the game. There's probably people who are too young to even know who Danny Cadamarteri is. He's a striker, he's young, he's good, he has cost it's £10 million, but it is, quite a lot of it is instalments. So technically it says £9 million, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be up to 10 million if we get promoted as well. They get an extra £1 million and all sorts. There's a whole load of kind of messed up deals like that as well. So yeah, Bailey Cadamarteri is our big name striker signing. He was, I think, like the 3rd top goal scorer in the league at the time when we signed him. So I not moneyballed it, obviously, but I kind of looked at some stats and went, he scores goals. That's what we maybe need. So that was the transfer business that we have done. And we've also loaned out 1 million people. There's no one really of any interest here. I don't think Samuel Edozie, I guess, going to Cardiff is kind of an interesting one. Everyone else is a youngster going out on loan, basically dropping down a few divisions. So what do those new signings mean for our squad? Players who are getting locked in. It's Gavin Bazunu, Ronnie Edwards and Shay Charles. No, it isn't. We're actually not going to lock anybody in. So actually, we are going to clear this because I think Jardim should be our number 1. I think giving our assistant manager, who I can't remember who it is. Is it Colin Calder? It's not Colin Calder, but who is it? Paul Trollope. It is a former footballer. But yeah, giving Paul Trollope a bit of freedom to pick who he wants, basically based on fitness and things like that, I think makes the most sense. So that is what we're going to go with. If we just do a very quick, I didn't want to do quick pick. I want to do without restrictions, the best 11. They have said, obviously, Ramsdale in goal. He's not at the club, so that one's not really going to count. But we've got Rosleb, we've got Harwood Bellis, Kwashi, Quasi. Is it Quasi? I'm not quite sure. Quasi and Manning as our defenders. We've got Downs and nobody. Who's that? Shay Charles. For some reason, his name's not there. We've got Edozie, Azaz, Fellows, and Archer. So, I mean, we've loaned out apparently 2 of our best players. Admittedly, we didn't loan out Ramsdale. I would have kept him if we could, but we have loaned out Edozie. Obviously, we've played a few more matches over the course of January. We have moved up to 6th place, which is obviously very, very good. We're just about on target. Could be better. 3 points behind Preston. We are 8 points behind Portsmouth, which is kind of disgusting, to be honest. And we are 1 point ahead of Sheffield Wednesday and Blackburn. We are in a dangerous territory here where we could slip down the table. And a few defeats, we could actually be finishing sort of 12th, 13th, 14th, which would definitely get us sacked. I think if we can stay near enough to the playoffs, we should keep our job. If we can stay in the playoffs and actually qualify for the playoffs, we might even keep our job if we fail to get promoted. If we get promoted via the playoffs, we should definitely keep our job, right? Oh, and one final thing. Adam Lallana, who is currently in real life a coach at Southampton, has moved over to be the Watford manager for some reason. I don't know why they've done that. I mean, obviously they've sacked their manager because it's Watford, that's what they do. But yeah, they've poached Adam Lallana, the 37-year-old, is now managing in the Championship alongside us. Well, let's go forward and find out whether we do manage to finish in the playoffs. We're going to go to the end of the regular season, so not the end of the playoffs, end of the regular season, and hopefully we can finish in the top 6. On the final game of the season, we actually found ourselves sat in 8th place in the table, but 3 points behind the playoff spot. We needed to win against Preston North End and we needed results to go our way. We took the lead early on in the match and we doubled our lead after about an hour of football. It falls to Cameron Archer in on goal, who by the way was on a goal drought at this point, to make it 2-0. Preston North End though were not finished. They thought they've still got a chance because they were actually also fighting for that 6th place finish and they managed to get themselves on the score sheet. It is Daniel Jefferson with the goal in the 61st minute, but that is how it finished. But how did the league finish? We managed to get the 3 points we needed, but we needed other results to go our way as well. And luckily for us, it actually did happen. Middlesbrough losing to Wrexham. They dropped down from, I think they were in 6th at the time, down into 7th place. We obviously beat Preston, who were in 7th place, and we were in 8th place. And Oxford, who were kind of in this playoff fight as well, drew with Millwall on the final game of the season, meaning we finished in 6th place, setting up a playoff semi-final up against Norwich, and possibly a Southampton-Portsmouth playoff final if we both get past our opponents. It is not going to be easy. Norwich, obviously a very good team. Leicester, obviously a very good team. Portsmouth, maybe, could be a good team. I think they've done ridiculously well because they've only just been promoted, right? Have they only just been promoted? They've massively overachieved here. We were absolutely awful as well. The final 6 games of the season, 6 or 7 games of the season, where we lost to Ipswich, Wrexham and Swansea, a draw with Derby County as well, rescued by Finn Azaz in the 91st minute. And then we played Bristol City, beating them 2-0, beating Blackburn 2-0, and obviously beating Preston 2-1, as you have just seen, which means we will be going forward to be playing Norwich in the playoff semi-final. But before we do that, let's talk about our youth players, because we've had a very good intake. We have got ourselves a 16-year-old goalkeeper called James Sexton, who has 4.5-star potential ability. We've got a 16-year-old right-back called Owen Cowan, who has 4.5-star potential ability. We've got a 16-year-old attacking central midfielder called Kane Ellis, with 4.5-star potential ability. We've got a 15-year-old defensive midfielder called Kemar Wowell, could be his name, with 5-star potential ability. We've got another 15-year-old this time as a central midfielder called Roy Gilder. Once again, 5-star potential ability, and we're not done, by the way. We've got Lee Dodge, who is a 16-year-old right-back and maybe a bit of a left-back with 5-star potential ability. And we also have Sean Foley, who is a 16-year-old left-back, once again with 5-star potential ability. That's not all, because we've also got a few other players. So Josh Wright here is one who's got 4-star potential. We've got Michael Forbes, who has got 4-star. We've also got Dean Haynes and Martin McKinnon with 3.5-star potential ability. We've got a couple of guys like Thomas Oxley. He's got 3-star. Unlucky, bud. You are the worst of all of these players to come through by the looks of it. But yeah, we have picked up a ridiculously good youth intake for our very first season, and I'm kind of excited. The worrying thing is, obviously, if we get promoted to the Premier League, definitely can't just try and play some of these in the Premier League because we will get battered every week. If we don't get promoted and we somehow keep our job, we might be seeing a lot of these players next season. Speaking of the playoff final then, I guess it is time to go forward and see how we do. I've just seen this. The board are not happy. It's a D. The club vision is a C-, which is not good. The squad is a C-. The supporters are upset because basically it doesn't look like we're getting automatic promotion. In fact, we're not getting automatic promotion, but we can still get promoted. And speaking as a person who technically is one of these, I would be happy if Saints went up via the playoffs. I'd rather automatic promotion. To be honest right now, I think I'd rather us stay in the Championship. But anyway, doesn't matter. I think this is fine. Let's win the playoffs, right? After a 0-0 draw in the first leg at St Mary's, we headed over to Carrow Road to play Norwich in the second leg. Jay Robinson has the ball here after 37 minutes and tucks the ball into the top corner. The 18 or maybe 19-year-old, who basically got called out by the board, by the way, for being rubbish, scores the first goal of the game. Robinson plays it in the middle to Yander. Yander across to Adam Armstrong, and Armstrong puts the ball into the bottom corner in the 93rd minute. which means we are going to the Championship playoff final. Completely against what I would have expected, but we are in the Championship playoff final. Here are some match ratings. So Bailey Cadamarteri played up front. I think he got the assist. He did get the assist for the Robinson goal. Janda and Armstrong there combining for the second one. Leo Jardim, an 8.1 rating. That free transfer for Jardim could have been a ridiculously good bit of business, but we have got one more game to play. We head off to Wembley. And up against Leicester in the final, so it was not a South Coast derby in the final. We take the lead after 44 minutes. Bailey Cadamarteri, the man, the £10 million man, opens scoring at Wembley into the second half, and Azaz corner comes in, and Joshua Kouachi is there to make it 2-0. And it does not stay 2-0. It shortly becomes 3. Ruslev into the penalty area, finds Shea Charles across the Wellington, back to Charles. Charles puts it in the bottom corner. It's 3-0 to Southampton. I cannot believe what is happening, because it becomes 4-0 as we return back to the Premier League. Robinson on the ground too. Matsuki, the Japanese international, puts it past the goalkeeper. A 4-0 victory against Leicester. Completely, not necessarily out of the blue, but we have not been this good. Genuinely, the last 6 games of the season, we've turned into a different team, and I don't know what's happened. So we are returning back to the Premier League at the first time of asking, and there's kind of a worry, because obviously last season, in real life, Southampton were absolutely dog chocolate. So, kind of hoping we're not dog chocolate this time around. I don't think we've been given our transfer budgets just yet. I need to find out how to get to our transfer budgets. Maybe wages, is that going to tell us something? Nope. I genuinely have no idea how to get to our transfer budgets. Help me. Right, I've found our transfer budget. So we've currently got £36.5 million. I hope that's not our entire budget for next season. Obviously, we're going to get a nice big bump of money because of the whole Premier League cash, which will obviously be very, very nice to see. £36 million is not going to go particularly far, because I think we might need to do a fair amount of strengthening. I'm happy, kind of, with our midfield. Everything else is kind of up for grabs though, right? Before we finish then, take a look at some of our star players then. So Tom Fellows at the top of the list, 7.17 average rating, 12 goals and 15 assists in all competitions. I did say that I think Fellows was going to be good. I didn't say that, did I? He wasn't even on my list, but Fellows has been ridiculously good for us, hasn't he? Next on the list of players who've played a few amounts of games, it's Cameron Archer. He's only played 25 league games, or 25 games in fact. 11 goals, 6 assists. Not a huge amount. I would have hoped for more, to be honest. And then weirdly, I guess in third place is actually Joshua Kouachi, the guy who scored one of the goals in the playoff final. Actually played 26 starts, 3 off the bench. Didn't really play in the FA Cup, just 1 off the bench. But he's turned into a half-decent footballer. He's still only 21, so got plenty of time to develop. Probably not good enough for the Premier League, though. Just want to sort by goals as well. So let's have a quick look at Bailey Cadamarteri. He did play 22 times in total then for us. He's got 22 and 44 for both us and Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think this was terrible. I don't think this was a terrible transfer. Cameron Archer we've obviously just seen. We've also got Tom Fellows, and Finn Azaz finishes our top goal scorer with 13 goals, considering pretty sure he missed a huge chunk of football at the start of the season. He's done pretty good there, right? It says he's played 43 times. I'm sure he was injured for like about 6 weeks. Well, there you have it then. Season 1 in charge of Southampton in FM26 is in the bag. And somehow we have returned back to the Premier League at the first time of asking. And I don't think we were good enough to do so, but we have managed to finish 6th place in the league and win the playoffs quite comfortably in the final. Season 2, back in the Premier League. We are going to be in for an absolutely horrendous time. We might get sacked. In Season 1 with our Southampton side, we managed to return back to the Premier League at the first time, kind of somewhat a bit ridiculously, because we weren't good enough to get promoted, but we did actually manage to get promoted via the playoffs. It means we are back in the Premier League, and as you can see here from the current vision, the current season objective is avoid relegation from the Premier League. I will tell you now, that's not going to be easy to do, might be impossible. And because of that, I have a sneaking suspicion that we might get fired this season. I know that's not really a thing that you want to try and do at the start of a season, to just basically say, probably won't be here at the end of it, but I think that might be the case unless we can do something absolutely ridiculous, and that is actually do quite well in the Premier League. I think I'm actually looking at the records here, trying to work out what ones I don't want to be featured on. So I would like to get more than 1 league win. That would be quite nice. I would like to, realistic, most league defeats. I don't want to have that one. I feel like losing 31 is not going to be good. I think we should be okay with that. The biggest win, I don't want to be on that one either. Realistically, that's not a good... unless it is us winning, obviously, that would be amazing. And there's also the fewest points in a season, which is Stoke, which, technically they're from 1889 and 1890. Obviously, the Derby County is the Premier League one. I don't want to be either. I want, 25 points. Okay, let's be honest. I don't want to get relegated, but I think it's going to happen. So to help us not get relegated, we've got £36.5 million currently in our transfer budget. I don't know whether that's going to be enough. I feel like it won't be enough. I'm being such like a downer here, but I feel like we are going to struggle unless we can do something pretty magical, because there are some kind of silver linings that we do have. When we look at our squad, we have Aaron Ramsdale. He has returned from his loan at Newcastle, which I'm sure is supposed to turn into a permanent transfer for £25 million. It hasn't happened. Also, Elias Yellert, who was on loan from someone in Germany, he's returned back to his feeder club. Or was it Galatasaray? And it doesn't matter. He's gone back to his feeder club when there's a permanent transfer sorted out for that as well. We've got Bella Kotchap back. We've got Kay Sander back. We've got a whole load of players returning. So Sugawara's another one. We've got, who else have we got? Juan Larios. We've got Moses Sesse. Who else? Will Smallbone. We've got a big squad. Ben Brereton Diaz. They're not necessarily good players returning, but we've got some players coming back. There is a bit of a problem with some of these players returning, however. Aaron Ramsdale was on £120,000 a week. I don't want to sell him because he is clearly our best goalkeeper by a fair distance, but £120,000 off our wage budget, and if we can get like £70 million for him, that might be pretty good. I've also just seen Damien Downs is on £50,000 a week. He definitely needs to leave because he's absolutely garbage. Obviously, before we have kicked off the season, we have got a few players who are considered stars. Ramsdale is obviously one of them. Bella Kotchap is our second best player. That surprises me. That genuinely surprises me that Bella Kotchap is our second best player. We've got Shea Charles there as well. We've also got Jardim, which means maybe we can get rid of Ramsdale because Jardim is still good enough. And we've also got Sugawara, who's obviously returned as well from a loan spell. Amusingly, in sixth place is Bailey Cadamarteri. I don't think he's that good, but if he's our sixth best player, that's a worry. Anyway, we're now going to jump forward to the end of the first transfer window to see what transfer business we can do and whether we can build a squad good enough to keep Southampton in the Premier League. But £32 million is not going to go very fast, so there will definitely be players leaving the club as well as joining. Starting with the outs then, the transfer window has literally just closed and we have managed to get rid of three quite big, expensive wages at the very least, big players as well. So Damien Downs is the first one. He has moved over to, where is he gone? He's not Southampton. He's definitely not at Southampton anymore. He has gone to Al Kholoud for £3.3 million. It's technically 4.3 with some sell-ons. So we've made a loss, honestly, but he's rubbish, so I'm okay with that. Moving to Al Najma in Saudi Arabia is Ben Brereton Diaz. He has moved over for £7.75 million. And it actually tells you, I'll show you in a minute, but it tells you we made a £1 million profit on him. Whether that's relevant or not, but yeah, we've sold him. That's another, I think, £50,000 a week off the wage budget, by the way. And also heading over to Saudi Arabia is Adam Armstrong. He is signed for Al Khalij for £8 million. Again, another £50,000 off the wage budget. 5 players have joined the club, and I don't think we have strengthened enough, but I'm hoping we have. First of all is Jimmy J. Morgan, who is a former Southampton player who moved to Chelsea, and then he has come back after his contract expired. So, he's one for the future, obviously. He's 20, but he's still pretty good. For £475,000, we have signed Colombian central defender Jason Quinones. He has come from a team in Colombia. It would be nice to see that. Atletico Nacional, they got him on a free transfer after he's done a weird tour of Japan, back to Colombia, over to England in the space of 12 months, maybe 18 months? Quinones, by the way, is obviously a player that I've looked at and gone, I think he's going to be able to strengthen our defence. That's the idea. Whether he will do or not is a different question. We have also brought in Mamadou Diambu. He has come in from... Where has he come in from? He's come in from RB Salzburg. He's cost £4.6 million, which is quite steep, but he is a pretty good defensive midfielder, and I think we did need to strengthen that slightly. So Diambu has joined the club. Also, he's still only 23, so plenty of years ahead of him if he's going to keep playing and obviously improve. That's the goal anyway. We have also picked up former Newcastle United footballer Joe Willock for just £3 million. I think this is a very sensible bit of business. Yes, he's a central midfielder, which is a position we don't play, but he can play as a defensive attacking midfielder or a winger or a defence midfielder. He's cost, like I said, £3 million for a player that cost £25 million just 5 years ago. That's pretty good, right? And our biggest expense of the summer is Alexander Prass, who has cost a whopping 14 million or 13 million, possibly going a little bit higher, I believe. He has come in from Hoffenheim. I think he's a good left back. He's also very versatile, so if we want, we can play him as a right winger, striker, probably a goalkeeper, although he's only got 2 goalkeeping rating. Alexander, you need to get better at that. And that is all we've done. Yes, it's not good, is it? I don't think we've strengthened the team at all, but we've cut some money off the wages. Maybe we just need to look at this season as a season where we are just trying to fix the squad a bit. We'll get relegated, and then we'll go straight back up again in Season 3. Assuming we can keep our job. We have also loaned out a whole bunch of people as well. So Kasper Yander has gone on loan to Schalke, Matsuki to Birmingham, Larios to Göztepe. We've also got anyone of interest. Teoaka, maybe could be his name. He's gone to Göztepe as well. Calvin Ramsey to Valencians. Romeo Akachukwu to Gillingham. Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh has gone to Chesterfield. Some of these players you might not have heard of, but they're actually quite good youth players, some of them. So it's good for them to go out and get some decent game time somewhere else. We have obviously already started the season. And we have started the season with Aaron Ramsdale as our number 1 goalkeeper. I did try and get £80 million for him. Nobody wanted to buy him for £80 million, so he is still here. Clubs are still interested. It's West Ham on loan. We had a few offers from Saudi Arabia. I think the highest was about £64 million. I obviously did not accept it. We've played 4 times. He's conceded 15. That's how well our season started, by the way. We kicked things off with a 4-1 defeat against Fulham. We then lost 2-1 to Manchester United at home, and then we got absolutely battered by Arsenal 7-0 at the Emirates. We did pick up a point against West Ham. Bailey Cadamarteri with a goal alongside Finn Azaz, and then you can see there we also did get past Reading in the Carabao Cup after penalties. We weren't even good enough to beat Reading in a 90-minute match. Reading, by the way, pretty sure are League One. They are. I mean, I don't need to show you what the league table looks like, do I? But you know where we're going to be. We are rooted to the bottom of the table. We do have 1 point so far, so one victory could chuck us all the way up to 15th place. That one victory might be very difficult to come by, considering we just lost 7-0 against Arsenal. So this isn't the squad that we are playing. In fact, what we will do, I will just ask them to do a best 11, see who also joins it. So Cadamarteri is actually our best striker. So this is, in theory, our best squad. So Ramsdale, Sugawara, Bella Kotchap, Kwasi and Pras as our defensive options. Charles, Fellows, Azaz, Robinson and Cadamarteri. I mean, it's not horrendous for a championship level team. It's not very good for a Premier League level team. And the problem is, and I'm fully aware, I kind of have brought this upon myself, we haven't got any money. Although it says we do have £16.5 million. I was trying to buy better players, we didn't have any money, and then, because we've got no wage budget, that's the problem. So we were trying to get players who were costing like £70,000, £80,000 a week. So I was having to move things from my transfer budget into my wage budget, which meant my transfer budget basically just disappeared. It's £16 million is not a lot of money nowadays. I mean, obviously it's for the regular person, but for a football team in the Premier League, it's not a lot of money. And I probably should have sold Ramsdale. I'll be honest, should have sold Ramsdale. I haven't done. He's still here, and he's not going to go in January either. I've committed to it. Right then, next thing to do is to jump to the 1st of January. The first half of the season will be completed, and I'm hoping we're not bottom. I'm hoping the worst case scenario, we've got one win, at least a win. That'll be good, right? It is the 1st of January, however, something absolutely magical happened. Not that Leeds did take the lead against us, but Bradley Cadamarteri equalised, making it 1-1 from the penalty spot. And then something even more magical happened. We managed to take the lead in a football match in the Premier League. Pras is the man. The fullback runs between the defence, blasts it past the goalkeeper. It is a 2-1 victory against Leeds United in the Premier League. The problem is that's the only one we've had in half a season. 20 games have been played. We have 1 win, 6 draws, 13 defeats, just 17 goals scored, making us the worst team in the league when it comes to goals scored, but also the considerably more worse team when it comes to goals conceded, which is 46, which is on average 2-point-something goals per game we have let in. That's a lot of goals considering we have potentially an England goalkeeper in between the sticks. He's played 19 league games and conceded 42. How was he doing so bad? I mean, obviously the defence in front of him is probably part of the issue here, but he's conceded 42. Jardim's played once in the league and did concede 4 as well, so, you know, it's not like he's much better. It's at this point I need to keep an eye on what the board and the supporters think. I imagine the board probably more so than the supporters. It's a C-. They are disappointed, or slightly disappointed, which is okay. They want us, obviously, to avoid relegation from the Premier League, which is... I mean, no, that's a different this season. I mean, how gain automatic promotion to the Premier League? We're in it. so that's not going to happen. We were competitive in the Carabao Cup. We've passed that one. This one is quite clearly, we are struggling with that. What do the supporters think? They're slightly disappointed. That's all. So anyway, obviously it is now a January transfer window. We've got just under £30 million in our budget, but we don't have much wage budget, as I mentioned earlier. So if we are going to buy somebody, we probably have to sell somebody or rejig some of our finances around to try and make the best use of that money. I think we're going to have to buy somebody. I don't know who. I think we might need to buy ourselves a striker, probably a new centre-back as well, maybe a goalkeeper, possibly an entire defence, maybe a few midfielders, a couple of strikers, entire subs bench, possibly fire the entire coaching team. I don't think our budget is going to stretch that far. Probably need to pick and choose our targets here. Oh, I didn't mention it either earlier. I don't think I mentioned it anyway. That we haven't locked in anybody for this season. So it basically, the assistant manager could do whatever he wanted to do, which is obviously playing Ramsdale and conceding 42 apparently. It's now midnight on the 3rd of February. The transfer window has closed, and looking at the league table, we have now played an extra 5 games, and I think we've drawn 3 more. So we've actually done okay. We have obviously lost 2. We haven't won any more games. We are still rooted to the bottom of the Premier League with just 12 points to our name. But we've got to win, and I'm pretty sure we are going to beat Derby's worst Premier League record performance thingy nonsense. I think there is a very slim chance of us not getting relegated. I think what's more likely to happen is we are literally just going to stay bottom of the Premier League until the end of time. If we can get 30 points, I'd say that's a success. And you might be thinking 30 points seems a little bit steep, and you would probably be right, but we have brought in one player who I think is going to change things around for us. First of all, it's Foremost Mendy. We brought in just 2 people, by the way. Foremost Mendy is the first name to join the club. He has come in on a permanent deal for £4 million from Lorient. Basically, he's a reasonable central defender. Played a season on loan in the Championship, played in Ligue 1 and Ligue 2 a few times. In fact, dropped down to the National 2, apparently, for Lorient 2. He's all right. He's not amazing, but he's kind of a bit more of a squad player, I think. Somebody who is going to change the game for us, though, is Samed Bajdar, not quite sure. The Bosnian international, 18 caps, 4 goals to his name. He has joined on a permanent deal for £17.25 million from Real Zaragoza over in the Spanish 2nd Division. Cost £1.3 million a few seasons ago, so it's a massive, massive profit. But as you can see, he's already scored twice and got an assist in just 2 appearances for us. The smart ones of you have obviously worked out that we didn't win those 2 games that he played in, but he scored twice, which is obviously 2 goals that we're kind of struggling with Bailey Cadamartri and Cameron Archer to score, which is a surprise to absolutely no one, I guess, at this point. I've also noticed Joe Willock has literally not played for us. We brought him in for £3 million. He's come off the bench 6 times. Jimmy J. Morgan's played more times and actually scored and got an assist. I imagine that's probably a cup game, though, right? Yeah, in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. We also haven't done any players leaving the club. We've got a few loans that have kind of gone on, but nothing really too exciting, I don't think. So we've got Diapepa to Lincoln. We've got Gathercole to Hull. Kayi Sander to Wrexham. I think that's going to be very helpful for him. We've also got Jada Moore and Ayun Kunle and Brandon Charles going on loan as well. So yeah, nothing massively exciting. Basically, I'm kind of hopeful. And this is why I am hopeful. So, obviously, in January, we did play 5 league games. We drew with Fulham. Things started off all right. We then beat Coventry after extra time in the FA Cup. But Coventry, by the way, are a Premier League side in this. So, that's kind of a big deal, beating Coventry. We then lost to West Ham, lost to Man United, but then a 2-2 draw with Arsenal and a 2-2 draw with Leeds. Bajdar scoring in both Cadamartri and Shea Charles getting the other goals. If you look, Arsenal was second. We've managed to draw with a team who were potentially first at the time, and Leeds, who were potentially 9th or 10th. Looking at that league table, though, it is kind of worrying. We are a very, very long way off the pace, aren't we? If we double our points, we'd be 19th. If we triple our points, we'd be all right, actually. We'd be 8th. Okay, I mean, that's not going to happen anytime soon. One last thing to mention before we jump to the end of the season, and that is the players that we are locking in. We are locking in Jason Quinones and Armela Bella-Kotchap, because if you have a look, Bella-Kotchap, he was playing. He wasn't playing a huge amount, and he's our best central defender in theory. So I've kind of said lock him in. And Quinones, he should be playing more. He's only played 11 as well. I don't want to play Jack Stevens either. Jack Stevens has been horrific for us. He's played 21 times, and he's been absolutely appalling. He's now 33 years old. My assistant manager keeps wanting to pick Jack Stevens, so I'm forcing Bella-Kotchap and Quinones to play in the hope that Jack Stevens doesn't. which is a weird thing to say when he's our club captain. Anyway, let's go forward then to the end of the season. First of all, hopefully we are still in charge. And secondly, we have managed to stay up. And thirdly, if we haven't stayed up, we haven't finished bottom of the table. And if we have finished bottom of the table, hopefully we've got 25 points. Way back in March, or February and March, we managed to string together 3 wins in a row. 3 match wins in a row. This was the second of them up against Coventry. Jay Robinson with the opening goal of the game. Leo Senza with a corner. Finds Charles in the middle. Falls to Azaz. Azaz makes it 2-0. And that's a 2-0 victory against Coventry in the Premier League. That is victory 2 out of 3 in a row. And victory 3 was possibly even more impressive as we headed on over to the Amex. Bajdar collects the ball after 24 minutes, long-range effort, pass for Bruggen, making it 1-0. Brighton soon found themselves back on level terms, however, on the 27th minute. Mitoma with the ball, plays it across the goal, finds Yakuba Minter, making it 1-1, and that is when we decided, no, a draw is not enough for us. We want to win some more games. It is Sugawara on that right-hand side, 3 black Southampton shirts in the middle. Bajdar is one of them, and Bajdar gets his second of the game, making it 2-1. And we are not done there as we head on into the second half. Flynn Downs across to Quinones. Where are you going to go, buddy? Long ball over the top towards Tom Fellows. First time volley into the back of net. A 3-1 victory away from home. Is this the start of us managing to stay in the Premier League? No, it isn't, because the following 7 games, we then lose against Bournemouth, Ipswich, Liverpool, Everton, Spurs, Chelsea and Brentford even, meaning that we finish rooted to the bottom of the table on 24 points. We almost hit the 25-point mark that I was hoping for, but 24 points. We equalled Everton, who had 82 goals conceded, so actually we weren't horrendous. We weren't even the worst defensive team. That's Coventry with 83. We did score 42, which is not even the worst attacking team. We weren't, all in all, the worst team. We were when you look at the league table. I do want to have a look, actually. So the XG, we actually outscored... Did we outscore? No, so our XG is exactly the same. So our XG was 43, we scored 43. Our expected points was 38. We got 14. We were still expected to finish, in 19th place. We were 14 points off of the pace there. But you never know, maybe we managed to win a different competition, perhaps. I mean, of course we didn't, because in the Carabao Cup we get knocked out in the 3rd round by Ipswich. In the FA Cup we get knocked out in the 4th round by Manchester City. So, yeah, we've had an absolutely horrendous time. But I guess, because we are still in charge, that's a good thing, right? So, sorting by goals, Bailey Cadamarteri is our top goal scorer. We'll come to him in a minute. So, Bajdar, currently injured with a broken lower back stress fracture. If he didn't get injured, maybe we would have actually done a bit better. I've not worked out how to see the form of a player, because I would like to see what games did he miss. Did he miss those 4? I assume because he doesn't have a position and a role, he missed those 4 games. So he did play... I mean, he played against Norway there, apparently. So he played against Bournemouth and then subbed off, played Ipswich, played Liverpool, then didn't play Spurs, Everton, Chelsea or Brentford. So, I mean, if he didn't get injured, maybe we could have turned things around. Second top goal scorer is Finn Azaz. Obviously, last season he was our top goal scorer, I think, with 15, so just 8 this time around. But that's still a pretty good turnaround for a player who, realistically, isn't Premier League quality. And speaking of somebody who isn't Premier League quality yet, might I add, he might get Premier League quality, it's Bailey Cadamarteri, our top goal scorer with 13 in all competitions, 10 of them coming in the league. He's wanted by probably Championship sides, or Bournemouth wants to sign Bailey Cadamarteri. It's going to cost you £40 million, because I feel like next season he's going to be very useful for us back in the Championship. My worry right now is we might lose our job, but we haven't at the moment. It's only the 21st of May, so there is still a chance for us to lose our job. Our best player is Bajdar. Then I'd argue it's Shea Charles in second and then Prass in third. So what does Charles look like nowadays? He's all right, isn't he? He's not a terrible footballer at all. And Prass, obviously a player that we signed in the summer. He's done all right. 3 goals, 3 assists. Would have been nice to get a few more goals and assists from him, but still new to the country, still new to the club as well. We've got Bella Kotchap get 31 appearances in the end. It's like the redemption arc for Bella Kotchap, which is quite nice to see. And Quinones as well managed to get 24 matches under his belt come the end of the season. I mean, he's not amazing, is he? I think we've got a very good Championship side. We don't have a very good Premier League side. I do want to have a very quick check. So, players' contracts who are expiring this season. We've only got 2, so it's Smallbone and Manning. Okay, I mean, I'm not too fussed about Smallbone and Manning leaving. Next season, we've got a fair few people. I did have a news article come up from Aaron Ramsdale saying that he's not going to be here next year. You've got 2 years left on your contract, mate. You are going to be here. We are going to expect a big, big sum of money from somebody. Unless he has something in his contract, which I don't know how to find that out. Like a relegation release clause or something like that. He doesn't. He doesn't have a relegation release clause. He does have a 20% wage drop. So that's going to save us, what's that, 20-something thousand pounds? £22,000? I mean, he's still going to be on nearly £100,000 a week. But, I mean, it's something, isn't it? I really kind of want to keep him at the club next year. I don't know why. It's a stupid thing to do. It really is. We should sell him for like 60-70 million pounds and just sort ourselves out financially. But it's also kind of funny to keep him at the club, right? So the last thing to look at then is the board feedback. To summarise, the board are disappointed with your management of the team. Last season's disappointment is still fresh in our memories and have a big impact on our appraisal of your current performance. What does that mean? They're happy with the recruitment. The matches are horrendous, which is understandable. The tactics, they're happy with the tactics. That's fine. They're not massively happy with the squad. The fans are okay with me, to be honest. They're okay with me because what were they expecting me to do? I can't perform miracles. When it comes to recruitment, they're also pretty happy with that. I mean, Bajstar, clearly the best signing I think we've managed to do in the entirety of FM26, which is literally 2 seasons. The fans also do not like the fact that we lost against Bournemouth and everyone else under the sun. The supporters are actually quite happy with our formation, which is weird to think considering we never get any results going our way. Well, assuming we are still in charge, we're going to have to move on to Season 3, back down in the Championship, and I really want to win the Championships next time around. I think it's possible. So is this Season 1 or Season 3? Because basically we're exactly back where we began in Season 1, because last season we were in the Premier League, we finished rock bottom of the table after a pretty terrible performance, and we are now down in the Championship. A Championship which obviously currently looks like this after 0 games played, but we have got who of interest we've got in there. Everton is quite obviously a very big team playing in the Championship. Anyone else? Burnley have I say big team, they've kind of up and down. Same with Wolves. We've got Wrexham are still up here, Portsmouth are still here as well, so we do have the South Coast derby to play, which could be interesting. And obviously Premier League last season, it wasn't very good. If we have a very quick look at what happened last year, we finished bottom of the table on 24 points. Quite a long way away from where we actually wanted to finish. It is the 1st of June, and this is the current situation of our squad. You'll notice there is a goalkeeper who is no longer at the club, and that's because we have had to sell Aaron Ramsdale. We got very annoyed that we got relegated, which is completely understandable, and also he was on £120,000 a week or something ridiculous like that, so we have had to move him on. The problem is, I can't find out where he's gone. Because he doesn't live here anymore. If we go back to previous seasons, these are all empty. There's nothing here in the previous seasons, which is kind of frustrating. So we just have to find him. I know where he's gone, but I'm just kind of going to leave it as a little bit of a teaser until we find him. It's not even that exciting. He's gone to Sheffield United. Obviously, I'm saying obviously, assuming they are in the Premier League. He's gone for just £25 million, which is frustrating because at the start of our Premier League season, we could have sold him for like 70. So technically, it's quite a big loss, but also technically it is a profit because we only bought him for just under 20. So it's a £5 million profit plus £4 million for the loan to Newcastle as well. Also, because of this transfer thing not actually working, I don't know whether anyone else has been sold technically last season. I can't remember. So we have also sold a couple of people. So Brian Manning has left on a permanent deal. His contract was up. He has moved over to Cardiff. And also youngster Harry Gathercole has moved over to Hull. I don't think he was ever going to get good enough for us. So they bought him in. They had him on loan last season and they paid $300,000. I think there's sell-ons and all sorts of stuff in there too. I'm still trying to work my way around the UI here, and the transfer budget is actually down here. I never kind of clocked that it's down there, but £24 million is what we have to spend in our transfer budget for the season, which is quite a lot of money for a Championship side. We do, as you can see, have a fairly hefty wage budget, and we are underneath it too. I think we might try a season of building, and by building, we should be trying to get promoted, obviously, but also we've got a lot of players. This is our first team. There are 34 players in our first team. There is a lot of players here who aren't necessarily good enough, players who want to leave the club. Like Harwood Bellis wants to leave because we got relegated. Stevens, I want him gone because he's not very good at football. Mendy, I don't think was a sensible signing to do, so I want him out the door. Calvin Ramsey, you can see there's already a bid going on to Celtic, so he's probably going to leave. We've got a lot of people who want to leave. This squad is going to be considerably different, I think, once we come back at the end of the transfer window. Which would be now. It is the 1st of September, it is 11 o'clock at night, the window has just closed, and we have sold a lot of people. Devan Gabajmo, I don't know what his name is. I've never even heard of this man. He has moved to a permanent deal to Swansea for £100,000. Apparently he's here in real life. Or is he? Did I sign him? He might be here in real life. I don't know. He's gone from Peterborough anyway. Moving up in value, and this is certainly not enough money for Nathan Wood, but he has moved over to Espanyol for £130,000. He just wasn't playing for us, so we've basically just shifted him on, got him off the wage bill. I was hoping this would happen sooner rather than later, and Jack Stevens has moved on to Wrexham, signing for £1.4 million. He's gone over to join Rob McElhenney and obviously Ryan Reynolds there, playing for Deadpool United or whatever it is, Hollywood FC, that team. Yeah, we didn't need him. Again, for not enough money, but Cameron Archer has moved over to Torino, following in the footsteps of former Saints man Shay Adams. He's gone for £1.7 million. We saw it earlier, but Calvin Ramsey has moved over to Celtic for £1.8 million. Taylor Harwood-Bellis is the first player to move over to Saudi Arabia. Just £2.4 million for Harwood-Bellis. He was going to leave at the end of his contract next season anyway, or this season, or whatever season it was in. But yeah, basically, we just had to sell him, had to take the money now. Foremost Mendy moves over to St Etienne for £2.5 million. Samuel Edozie follows Cameron Archer over to Torino, but this one's gone for £5.5 million, which is a lot of money, right? Starting to get into the big numbers now, Mamadou Diambu has moved over to Birmingham, also in the Championship, and he's gone for, I think, £6.25 million. £6.75 million. So we've made a massive profit on a player who wasn't good enough for us in the Premier League. Juan Larios, another player who basically doesn't ever really play for Southampton. He's signed for Leicester and he's gone for even more money than the previous one, £8.5 million. So technically a £2.5 million profit there from Larios. And finally, Casper Yander has moved to Crystal Palace. I think he was on there last season on loan. No, he was on loan at Schalke last season. He's gone for £17.25 million. So actually a huge, huge sum of money for another Championship side as well to spend on our player. I'm just happy with that. He's good. He's certainly a good player. He's still only 24, but I think that money you can't really turn down. It means we made our squad considerably smaller. So let's start filling it up, shall we? 7 players in total have joined, and we are starting with the cheapest and the least useful. Luke Mbete has joined as a squad player. He's cost absolutely nothing. He's probably never going to play for us, and I'll probably sell him in Season 4. Similar situation is Yanis Hadji. Cost absolutely nothing. I did need to get ourselves a new attacking midfielder in the middle, and I kind of thought, he's on a free transfer. We'll pick him up. He seems all right. He's got 47 capture remaining, but again, probably not expecting to see a huge amount of football from Hadji. I reckon maybe 10 games this season. For £350,000, we have bought the Aaron Ramsdale replacement, and by the Aaron Ramsdale replacement, I bought a third choice goalkeeper. It's Charlie Setford. He is obviously not going to be playing a huge amount of football for us. He's cost us, what did I say, £350? £350 from Ajax, spent last season out on loan at Blackpool, so he's got a bit of experience now. I'm not expecting the world from Setford. He is our third choice keeper. Now moving into players who will likely get some game time. Casey McAteer is first up for £2.5 million, which I think is a very good deal for Casey McAteer. He has joined, obviously, from Ipswich. I say obviously, like I knew exactly where I brought him from. That's a good signing, right? He's already played 5, scored 3, and got an assist. I'm very happy with that. He's still only 25 too. Next up is Sam McCallum. He is going to be our kind of rotation left back, I assume. And he has cost £3.9 million from Sheffield United. Again, a pretty decent signing. For the price, I don't think that's a bad footballer at all. Is he good enough for the Premier League? Unlikely. So if we do get promoted this season, we might need to get ourselves a brand new left back to replace McCallum. But I'm okay with this. For £5.75 million, we have purchased Tommy Doyle from, I'm going to say, Wolves. I think that's where we got him from. He was on loan at Burnley last season, Birmingham a few seasons before that. So he's got a fair amount of experience, quite a lot of Premier League experience as well. £5.75 million is reasonably steep, but I think he certainly improves our midfield options. And the big summer signing for £20 million, which is quite a lot of money, is Simon Bouabre, who has been signed from, I think it's Neom? It is, Neom in Saudi Arabia. So they've actually made a profit off of him. But the key thing is he's not getting paid £475,000 a week or something ridiculous like that. Still only 21. Doesn't have a work permit, which is annoying. So we need to make sure he gets a lot of game time. But I think he could be very, very useful. This is why I bought Hadji in first and then went, we've still got money to spend. Let's bring in Bouabre instead. And I think, yes, he's not amazing right now, but he has the potential to grow into a much, much better footballer. So that is our transfer business. So we have received £48 million, technically, add 25 on top of that, and spent £32.5 million. Just want to double check what the board think. If we do transfers out, are they going to tell me about some of the other players that I may have missed? Maybe. No, they haven't. Oh, no, yeah, Ramsdale. Oh, there you go, Prass. Prass has left. I knew there was another one. He's also moved over to Leeds for some money. How much is that? 17.25. So even a profit there on Prass too. So from a tactics perspective, we are sticking with the same formation that we'd played for the first 2 seasons, because it did work in the Championship. It didn't really work in the Premier League, but I don't think we had the squad to do it. So we're sticking with it again in the Championship, and we are locking in 3 players. Obviously, Bazunu will be our number 1 goalkeeper, mainly because Jardim is technically better, but I think Bazunu should be our number 1 at the moment. We might look to replace him. I don't know. He might not be good enough if we get promoted again, but Bazunu will be our number 1. We have Kais Sander, Joachim Kais Sander will be our central defender, because he has spent a couple of seasons out on loan, played Wrexham last season, didn't do horrendous, spent a season out on loan in Ligue 2, didn't do horrendous once again, so I'm going to give him a chance. He's got decent potential, he's got decent attributes as well, still only 20, he's going to play a full season as a centre-back and see how he gets on. And the final one is Samad Bajdar will be leading the line, because if we don't make Bajdar lead the line, I'm not sure who they actually put in, but it is somebody who isn't Bajdar, basically. So I'm trying to make sure. I don't know how to find out who they would normally put in there. Bailey Kalamata, I think, normally plays there. And I think they stick Bajdar possibly on the right wing, which I don't want him to do. Final thing then, before we jump forward, we have obviously kicked off the season, and we have kicked off spectacularly well. We have just dropped 2 points against Everton. That is it. We've beaten Watford. We have beaten Blackburn. We drew with Everton. We beat Derby. We beat Charlton, comfortably beating Charlton as well. Finn Azaz is scoring goals for fun. And we've also started off well in the Carabao Cup, getting past Swindon, Watford and Leeds. Could a cheeky cup run be on the cards? We are already into, I was going to say the quarterfinal. It's not the quarterfinal. Is it the 4th round? It's the 4th round, so nearly the quarterfinal. We're not, I mean, we are a long way. Let's not worry too much about that. So anyway, let's jump forward then to the 1st of January, see how the first part of the season has gone on. And obviously, I'd like to be top of the table, would be nice, wouldn't it? Third place in the league. Everton and Bristol currently sit in the automatic promotion spots. We're in 3rd place, no games in hand or anything. So what's really gone wrong? Looking at it, we are scoring a reasonable amount of goals, but we are conceding a lot. 34 goals conceded. That's relatively high. I mean, it's not horrendously high, but you've got obviously Everton on 21, you've got Middlesbrough 28, Birmingham on 29. You've got way down there Oxford just conceding 24. Problem is they don't score any goals. So yeah, if we can stop conceding, we might be able to turn this around and get in the automatic promotion spots. Otherwise, we could go up through the playoffs again if we have to. Just a very quick look here as well at the average rating. So Jardim's at the top, but he's only played once. We've got Wellington, a 7.22. He's doing very well. Jay Robinson, 7.19, 16 starts. Doyle's doing good. That's what we like to see. Finnes has 12 goals from attacking midfield. I assume Bajdar's down there with 13 goals, but he's not got a massively high average rating either. So I'm happy with how things are going. Okay, I'm definitely happy with how things are going. We are going to go to the end of the transfer window. Let's actually very quickly find out what finances have we got. 35 million. We've got 35 million to spend in our transfer budget if we want to. I don't know whether we should, but we could if we need to. There are a couple of disappointing things to take a look at, I guess. So you can see here we did draw 1-1 with Portsmouth. The South Coast Derby, not ideal to be drawing that one, but it doesn't really matter. We are 3rd in the table. We have also, let me just double check. So Leeds, we played in the Carabao Cup. We then beat Sheffield United, so we got to the quarter-final. And then we beat Liverpool on penalties. Are we in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup? We're in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. I said that as a joke, that I thought we could get, through this. I mean, we're definitely not getting past Newcastle, and if we do, we're definitely losing to Arsenal or Man City in the final. But the fact that we've got to the semi-final of a Carabao Cup is quite impressive, right? Anyway, let's go forward then to the end of the transfer window, see what business we can do. Are we going to spend that £35 million? Probably. It's now the 2nd of February, the transfer window has closed, and we haven't really done a huge amount of business. We have sold a lot more players than we've brought in. In fact, we've brought in just one player on loan, and he's a backup goalkeeper. We've sold Brogan Sewell, could be his name. He has gone to Swansea for not a lot of money, £18.75 thousand. Leo Jardim has left the club, returning back to Brazil. He's gone for £575,000, which is why we've obviously loaned in ourselves another goalkeeper. For £4.4 million, Yukinari Sugawara has moved over to another championship side in the shape of Crystal Palace. He has gone there basically because he was out of contract very, very soon, and I thought I'd rather have some money for you than just take absolutely nothing in about 6 months' time. And this one might be a mistake, but Nick Oyenkula might be his name, not quite sure. He has moved over to Burnley for £6 million with some sell-on clauses as well. Just 20 years of age. In real life, he scores goals for fun for like the under-21s and under-18s and things like that. He might be really good in this, but I think in the period that we're going to be playing this save, it's not worth me keeping him around because we're going to probably do maybe 5 seasons maximum, and by which point he's going to be 22 and still probably not even close to being fully developed. Joining the club then is South Korean international goalkeeper Song Bum-kyun, could be his name. He's joined on loan from West Ham. He's actually costing us nearly £1 million, I think. I didn't really think this through, but he's costing us a whole bunch of money through wages. It's like £26,500 a week it is costing us. There is no obligation to buy or anything like that. He's just purely here as a backup until the end of the season, where hopefully we get promoted and we find ourselves back in the Premier League and we can get ourselves a much better number one goalkeeper. And speaking of finding ourselves back in the Premier League, it is looking slightly more likely than it was at the start of January. We have had a ridiculously good January, and we've moved ourselves up to second place in the table, just 3 points behind table toppers Everton with a game in hand. So if we win our game in hand, we won't go top of the table unless we win it, like, 13-0? We might win it. Probably not going to happen, let's be honest, but we'll go joint on points with Everton at the top of the table. The reason why we have done so well, I think we've played 4 matches in the league, we've won all 4. We've also played some cup games. Well, I would show you the highlights of the matches, but yeah, FM26 beta, everybody. This is kind of what I'm stuck on. The question is do I just leave it, or do I force end the game and try again? Maybe we can watch the second leg. Oh, it's looking promising. So, as you can see at the top of the screen there, the first leg was a 2-1 victory for Southampton in the Carabao Cup semi-final at home. In the away leg, in what seems to be a horrendous kick clash against Newcastle, we just needed to not lose, ultimately, and we would find ourselves somehow playing in the Championship, but also in a Carabao Cup final. Something has also changed in the beta, where these highlights now seem to take a lot longer than they used to before. Before, you'd just literally see, oh, here's the cross, here's the goal. Anyway, here's the cross, here's the goal. It's 1-0 to Newcastle. It's now 2-2. And obviously, if it stayed this way, that would mean that we'd probably go into extra time and penalties. But luckily for us, it didn't necessarily stay this way, did it? It is the 80th minute on the clock, and Botman has the ball back to Vasquez for Newcastle, all the way back to Luis Jr. Big kick upfield. There is only 10 minutes to play over at regulation time. It's currently 2-2 on aggregate. McAteer to Doyle, plays it back to Edwards, right hand side. We're going to have Lee Dodge, the youngster, by the way. He is playing a lot of football, which is nice to see. Finazaz back to Lee Dodge on the right hand side. Inside to Tommy Doyle. Very long highlights for some reason. I don't like it. I don't like the long highlights. Bajdar loses out but falls to Bouabre, and Bouabre makes it 1-1 on the night and 3-2 to Southampton on aggregate. And just 7 minutes later, something else happens. Newcastle coming forward with the ball. It is 3-2 to Southampton. Lee Dodge trips over Gordon. We managed to pick the ball up. Edwards. Dodge has actually injured Gordon by the looks of it, which is lovely. We do lose the ball, though. Wissa collects the ball in the middle. Tries to find one of their players. Eventually finds Alanga. Back to Tior. In the middle again. Edwards lumps it upfield. What's going to happen? This highlight's going literally on forever. This highlight has taken 45 seconds so far, by the way. And it is still ongoing. We're not even near a penalty area. Collins to Alanga. In the middle, we've got 3 Newcastle players, and Jacob Ramsey is one of them. It is 2-1 to Newcastle, and it is now 3-3 on aggregate, which means surely we are heading on into extra time. Or are we? Straight from the kickoff, we have a highlight. Finazaz's ball forward finds Bouabre in on goal, and a very quick reply from Bouabre means that we now take a 4-3 lead. And that is how the game finishes. We are in the Carabao Cup final with Southampton in the Championship. We were also knocked out of the FA Cup, thanks to Brighton, after extra time. Evan Ferguson with the goal in the 91st minute. But I don't really care. We have managed to qualify for the Carabao Cup final, which is going to be up against Arsenal way down the road on the 12th of March in 2028. If we could win that, I think technically we'd go into the Europa Conference League. Also, this is a competition that I don't think Southampton have ever won in real life, so it would be nice to win that trophy. We're probably not going to do it, but then again, we have beaten Newcastle. We have sort of beaten Liverpool on the road to this final. We've beaten Sheffield United. I mean, it's actually not a terrible win because they've got Sheffield United are a Premier League side. They are a Premier League side. We've beaten 3 Premier League sides on the way to the Carabao Cup final. I thought Sheffield United were a Championship side. They're not, are they? Also, we beat Leeds. We've beaten 4 Premier League sides on the way to the Carabao Cup final. How did I just miss that? Anyway, so we are second place in the Championship Carabao Cup final, knocked out of the FA Cup, but I don't really care too much about that one. Just before we jump to the end of the season, I just want to show you exactly what we are locking in for the rest of the season. You can see there, Lee Dodge, who was playing against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup semi-final second leg, is going to be locked in as our right wing-back because I kind of like him. If we actually see who else can play there, we've got Ruslev, we've got Kaysander, we've got Charles, we've got Kwasi. No one else. And I want to kind of develop some of our own decent young footballers. So Lee Dodge is the man to do the job. Let's have a very quick look at Lee Dodge. He's getting good, isn't he? He's got 5-star potential. Came through our youth intake in season 1, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, hopefully good old Lee Dodge will turn into a world-class footballer. He is wanted, probably by Man United. It normally is. Fulham and Bournemouth and loans for Bristol Rovers and York. Not what I was expecting. Anyway then, last thing to do is to jump to the end of the season. We'll jump to the end of the regular season just in case we have dropped down into the playoffs. I hope we haven't, but obviously there is the chance that we could drop down into 3rd place. And if we finish in 3rd, we then have to win the playoffs again like we did in season 1. Luckily for us, we did not need to go through the lottery of the playoffs. In fact, we did not need to even worry too much about anything because we have won the league by 10 whole points. We have cleared Everton by a very, very long distance. 50 goals conceded, so I think we did seem to defend a little bit better in the latter half of the year as well, which is good. 88 goals scored, joint top goal scorers by the looks of it with Bristol City. 93 points is a good return as well. But also, the other big thing, we've got the Carabao Cup final to worry about too. A Carabao Cup final, by the way, that went all the way to penalties, 0-0. So nothing too exciting to talk about initially, but like I said, we go all the way through to penalties up against Arsenal in our blue and yellow striped away shirt. Bajdar with the opening penalty of the game. It makes it 1-0. Saka steps up next for Arsenal. What can he do? He can send Bazunu the wrong way. It's 1-1. Next up is Tommy Doyle, number 7. Right-footed penalty, sends Erbig the wrong way. It is now 2-1 to Southampton. Francolino next up, number 17, left-footed. Where is he going to go? He sends Bazunu the wrong way. It's 2-2. Finn Azaz, who scores bucket loads of goals for us every single season by the looks of it, is next up. Can he get the 3rd? He can get the 3rd. So far, it's a 100% penalty record for both teams. Can Odegaard keep that going? Hopefully, he doesn't. Odegaard then steps up left-footed against Bazunu. He goes the right way, but can't quite get on the end of it. It's 3-3. Bouabre is next up, the man who basically secured us this final thanks to his performance against Newcastle, has his penalty saved. Can he turn from hero to villain? Has he turned from hero to villain? Ethan Nwaneri next up, left-footed penalty with his lovely little purple boots on by the looks of it. Where's he going to go? Straight down the middle. Good job, Gavin Bazunu. Casey McAteer next up then. It is 3-3 if I'm not mistaken. McAteer puts it in the bottom corner. It is at 4-3, which means we're now heading into sudden death. Martinelli sends Bazunu the wrong way. It is 4-4. Now we're properly into sudden death. Flynn Downs has managed to hold down a meal once and hasn't thrown up this week by the looks of it. So Flynn Downs steps up to take penalty number 6 for Southampton. Sends Erbig the wrong way. Saints take the lead. All the pressure then on William Saliba. Saliba sends Bazunu the wrong way. Ronnie Edwards, the central defender, also sometimes defensive midfielder, as and when he is needed, is next up. Right-footed penalty, blasts it past Erbig. No goalkeeper in the world is stopping that one. So Wharton has to score. Wharton does score. What are we on, like penalty 9 now at this point? Mads Roerslev is next up. We are heading into basically the absolute garbage penalty takers for both teams. Roerslev, though, cracking penalty straight into the top corner, nowhere near Erbig. And that was it. That was it. We didn't see the Zinchenko miss. We got to watch the Zinchenko miss. Come on, game. You can't just... The highlights should not just stop there. I mean, it's kind of a spoiler now. You know the fact that we've won the thing, but this is why we won it. Was it Zinchenko missed? Was it Bazunu saved? What actually happened? Can we see some celebrations? Zinchenko steps up there, left-footed penalty. Bazunu goes the right way, palms the ball wide, doesn't celebrate at all for some reason, until now everyone runs over into that corner. And we have won the Carabao Cup on penalties. I don't know how or why we won the Carabao Cup, but we certainly managed to do this. If we have a look at our formation, we didn't play particularly well. Bazunu did get an 8.4. Edwards and Charles played quite well, but no one else really stood out. Robinson and Fellows, horrendous performance. Arsenal should have won. Arsenal genuinely should have won, but they didn't. And we've picked up a trophy, and we're now playing not only in the Premier League, but the Europa Conference League too. God, this season for highlights has been a bit of a mess, hasn't it? So let's have a very quick look then at the fixture schedule. Scroll all the way to the bottom. You can see there the 12th of March beating Arsenal on penalties. The fact that we've managed to not only get to the final is ridiculous, but win the final is even more ridiculous, especially considering we did lose against Portsmouth, a week before? 2 weeks before? 3 weeks before? Some time before. Not in the recent past, we lost to Portsmouth 3-0, which is ridiculous. Then lose to Burnley, and I thought, oh, this is not going to end well. And then all of a sudden, we just start winning. And I think actually around this time is also when we also confirmed promotion, and probably that one there is actually where we confirmed promotion, and probably the title, to be honest. The fact that we have managed to go up as champions is amazing. I love the fact that we've gone up as champions. That's awesome. Very quickly then, before we end the season, I want to have a quick look. Who were the top goal scorers? Jay Robinson actually gets 14. We've got 2 with 9, actually. So Fellows gets 9 goals this season, all of them coming in the league. I mean, he's pretty good, isn't he? Still only 24 as well. We've got Casey McAteer, the new-ish signing. Is he new signing this season? Was it last season? It was this season. Pretty good, actually. 7 goals in the league. You got 2 in, I'm assuming, the Carabao Cup by the looks of it. We've also got Jay Robinson, 14 goals for the youngster. He's now 21, actually. So, he is a youngster. He's definitely a youngster. But, yeah, he's not really considered like a child at this point, is he? We've got Bajdar at 24 years of age, 21 goals in all competitions, 19 of them in the Championship. And Finn Azaz, another cracking season, 23 goals in the league from attacking midfield. Or 18, in the league, 23 in all competitions. Literally, the Premier League season, he was bad, but that's because we were bad. If we were actually not a terrible side, he would have got double figures as well in that season too. I think Finn Azaz has been probably one of our, kind of, not unsung heroes, because he's been our top goal scorer pretty much every season. But he's been doing way, way better than I thought he would. Speaking of unsung hero for the season, Wellington is actually our highest average rating of a 7.17. He's got himself 9 assists, 2 goals. I imagine he's probably going to win Player of the Season as well. We've got Robinson, Azaz, Fellows. Tommy Doyle is up there with a 7.09. So he's done pretty good, obviously scoring a penalty in the Carabao Cup final. Decent signing. I think that one made a lot of sense to do. Sam McCallum, 12 starts, 10 off the bench. He's also done pretty good. Not a huge amount of football for McCallum, but I didn't bring him in to be a number 1 player, did I? Anyone else kind of interest we want to call out the sort by assist, shall we? We've got Wellington. We've just had a look at. Roslev's up there. He's got 8 assists, not a single goal to his name. Roslev's done all right. Obviously, latter part of the season, he did get dropped for Lee Dodge. Lee Dodge, by the way, who has he's receiving specialist treatment for torn wrist ligaments when we beat Swansea 3-0. Fair enough. It's also worth taking a look, actually, by the way, at some of the players who haven't really played a lot of football. So Quasi, just 2 off the bench. Kadamatari's 29 off the bench, so never started a game, but 29 off the bench. Hadji played just 1 start, 4 off the bench. Cienza 1 start, 16 off the bench. Bella Kotchap actually not starting a lot. Same as Quinones, same as Willock. So we've got some players. Obviously, now we're going to be in the Premier League that maybe we need to try and sell. It will be interesting to know what our budget is for next season as well, because this squad is not good enough to stay up. So it's Season 4 in our Football Manager 26 beta save with Southampton, and obviously we're not in the beta anymore. I was hoping to get all this done in the beta, but things happened, life happened, got in the way. But Season 4, we are back in the Premier League after finishing top of the Championship, comfortably winning ourselves promotion. And if we just remind ourselves what happened last time we were in the Premier League, we finished rock bottom, finishing on 24 points. So hopefully this time around, we can do one better, and that is, I guess, not get relegated. I do think we're in a slightly better situation as well, because we have got a squad that we've kind of started to build ourselves. Like Tommy Doyle is a player that we have brought in. Bajdar, obviously, we brought in back in the Premier League as well. We've got in some players, Willock hasn't really played too much, so the less we say about him, the better. But we've kind of started to build our team, selling players who didn't necessarily fit our system, bringing in players who do. So we are going to jump forward to the end of the transfer window, see what transfer business we can do. If we have a very quick look, if I can find where it is, we can see that our transfer budget for next season is at £61.69 million. And the season after that is £73.49 million, assuming we don't get relegated. £61 million is a lot of money. Last time in the Premier League, our way of spending money and our investment into improving the first team squad wasn't very good. I'll be the first to admit that. So hopefully this time around we can do a little bit better and we can strengthen where we need to strengthen. Well, already, after 3 games in the league, we have got 4 points on the board. We are sat mid-table. We've got 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. We've scored 4. We've scored 3, conceded 4. If this season finishes like this, I will be a very happy man, because if we can finish mid-table, that's amazing. I think realistically, we're still going to be in a relegation battle. Obviously, we're 3 games in. It is far too early to tell. I have just remembered as well that we're in the Europa Conference League. We are into the group stages as well, because I think we played a couple of matches to qualify for here or not. No, we just got here just by winning the cup, didn't we? So yeah, we're in the group stage. I don't know how well this is going to go. I'd like to get out of the group stage. I'd love to win the thing. I don't think that's going to happen. Not really too fussed about the Europa Conference League, to be honest. Anyway, we're obviously back after the transfer window has closed, so let's talk about some transfer business that has taken place. We've got a few players leaving on free transfers. Thierry Rohart-Brown has moved over to Dijon after his contract expired. Wellington has moved to Middlesbrough after his contract expired, which I wasn't sure this was a good idea because he was amazing for us last season. But I thought, you know what, I feel like we can do better. Feel like we can do better than Wellington. He's a championship level left back, so he has moved on. And Kuryu Matsuki has also left on a free transfer, moving back to his native Japan, going to Vissel Kobe on a free transfer. We never really played him. We did score 1 and got an assist. Spent the season out on loan last year. Did pretty good, actually, for Bristol City. But yeah, we were never going to get really much use of him, particularly now we're back in the Premier League. Joining the club, we brought in a few players on various deals. Carl Rushworth is the first one. He's come in on loan from Brighton until the end of the season, but we are signing him on a permanent deal because I think he's better than Bazunu, and we kind of need to get ourselves a new number 1 goalkeeper. Hopefully, Rushworth is that man. Or if it's not Rushworth, it's Kari Ranson, who is a youngster signed from Arsenal, I believe. He's come in from Arsenal, £600,000, spent last season on loan at Wickham in League One. I actually tried to buy him in January last season. I didn't realise he was on loan. He's probably one for the future, to be honest. I can't see him playing too much now. Moving into the probably ridiculous values now, Alfie Dorrington next up. 23-year-old English central defender signed from Spurs. 2.5-star current ability, which isn't particularly high, but £13.75 million transfer fee, which is particularly high. I'm not convinced this was a sensible bit of transfer business. Now, I did say earlier, we need to do better transfers. This one isn't one of them. It's fine, we have done better transfers. It might not seem like it on paper, but Harrison Burrows is a better transfer and he is a more expensive transfer. The left back has come in obviously to replace Wellington, formerly of Sheffield United, for £16.5 million. I think he's going to be superb. I actually had him in FM24 playing for QPR and he was really good. So I went, you know what, let's go for it. He's got lots of 11s, 12s, 13s and 14s. If he can just jump up those numbers by a couple, he's going to turn into a really good footballer. And another really good footballer is David Effengruber, who is an Austrian central defender, 24 caps to his name. He is signed from Elche in Spain for £26.5 million. It's a lot of money, but he's a very good defender, right? It's sensible to buy this type of defender. We needed to shore up our defence. I signed this guy after I signed Dorrington. Dorrington was going to be the man to shore up the defence, and I went, he's not good enough. And then I found Effengruber and went, no, Effengruber's the man to shore up this defence. We are not done with players joining the club, however. We have also signed Jonathan Dubasin on a free transfer after his contract had expired. The 28-year-old Belgian international with just 4 caps to his name. He's a striker and or winger, not really quite sure. I kind of signed him initially to be a striker, but actually he can play on that left-hand side as well pretty comfortably. Signed from Sporting Gijón over in Spain in the 2nd division, but he's scored stupid amounts of goals in the last 3 seasons. If he can just replicate that season, I'll be very happy. 32 goals in 42 appearances and they didn't get promoted. Kind of embarrassing, right? We've also picked up James Maddison on a free transfer as well. He got released basically right at the end of the transfer window. Spurs went, we're not going to play you, we're just going to release you. And I went, you know, on a free transfer, he's pretty good. 21 league appearances last season. We've got ourselves a good player, even if he's only for a year or two. He's come in as a squad player. He's not on massive wages, really, in the grand scheme of things. I'm pretty happy with this one. The next one, I'm even more happy with. And it's definitely unrealistic and will never happen in real life. And that's a 30-year-old Marcus Rashford on a free transfer. Similar situation to Maddison. United just released him. They went, we're probably not going to play you guys, so we'll just get rid of you. So we've picked him up on a free transfer. Obviously, season on loan at Barcelona, just the 5 goals, 6 goals on his return to United. No goals in the following season. And we've picked him up on a free transfer. He's clearly clearly too good for us. The fact that he wanted to play for a team in a relegation scrap as well, kind of impressive. I'm pretty happy with that. He's yet to kick a ball for us, by the way. We literally signed him like 2 days ago, and we haven't played a match since. A few other bits of transfer business to talk about. We've got some other players leaving the club. Jason Quinones has moved on to Freiburg. He's gone for £1.5 million, so we technically made a profit on him. He wasn't very good. Ianis Hagi has also moved on. He's signed for Albatin for £4.7 million. For a player who really didn't play much for us at all, that's a massive amount of profit. And for £11.75 million, Leo Cienza, now Luxembourg international, has moved back to Germany, signing for Hoffenheim. It was a good amount of money. I couldn't really turn it down. I think it was out of contract as well at the end of this season. And I went, I think we are going to outgrow you quicker than you're going to outgrow us. And that money you can't really turn down. So we've even made a profit on Cienza. We've also got some loans, so O'Brien Whitmarsh going on loan to Cadiz. We've got Mbete to MacArthur. We've got Nathaniel Boot has gone to Leyton Orient. What else? Jimmy J. Morgan to Bolton. Kemal Wal to Bristol Rovers. And Sean Foley to Watford. We will now check last season, because despite the fact that this game is not in beta anymore, this still doesn't work for me for some reason. So I guess we have to go to the recruitment feedback thing. So is there anyone else new that we haven't seen? Ashley Phillips, yes, yep, that's the thing that we did. We signed Ashley Phillips. Yeah, he was a free transfer. He's not on a lot of money. I think it was fine, right? He's one for the future. He's 23. He's kind of one for the future. Is there anyone else on that list? Doesn't look like it. Transfers out. So we've got, obviously, Quinones is there. Cienza Hagi is there. Anyone else? Sugawara. Yeah, Sugawara's a recent one, right? That happened over the summer. Maybe not. Maybe last season. I'm not quite sure. I mean, I'd love it if it just kind of worked. Can we see hide youth players? Does that help? I feel like there's more, because that's not everyone, right? Maybe that is everyone. Anyway, that's the transfer situation. Obviously, like I said, we are currently sat 10th place in the table. If we have a look at our fixtures and see how we kicked off the season. So, we had to get past Sturm Graz in the Europa Conference League to get into the main competition. We did beat them 2-1 and 6-1. In the Premier League, we kicked off with a 2-0 win against Ipswich Town, Finazaz and Bajdar with the goals in this. We got smashed by Liverpool, which was kind of expected. And then the draw comes against Bournemouth, 1-1 Bajdar with the equaliser in this one. And we've also just managed to squeak past Crawley on penalties after Tom Fellows scored. So all in all, I think we're in a pretty good position right now. When it comes to our best players, we've actually got 4 players who are 4 stars. So we've seen Rashford, we've seen Affan Gruber, we've got Shea Charles, who did have some interest in him over the summer, which we have kind of just ignored, to be honest. He is 4-star current ability for the 24-year-old Northern Irish international. He's good, isn't he? I can't imagine he's going to get huge amounts better, though. So for £68 million, which is basically the asking price I put in, I'd probably snap the hand off, to be honest. And the other one, which I really don't want to lose, is Jay Robinson. The now 21-year-old left winger has again had interest. Not as much interest. I think Man United wanted him in like season 1 and 2, and then they kind of just walked away, to be honest. I am imagining there will be a bit more interest in Robinson in the coming seasons, particularly if he plays well this year. And so far, he's started off okay, getting an assist in both the Europa Conference League and in the Premier League as well. But Jay Robinson is obviously a very good footballer. We've got a whole load of other players as well on 3.5 stars. So Azaz, Dubersin, Madison, Bajdar on 3.5. And then the 3-star players, they're good, right? That 3-star is fine. 3-star is fine. The worrying thing is your Ursulevs, your Downs, your Willocks, your Dorringtons, your Barabres. You've got your Bella Kotchaps, your Teoakos. Not even sure if that's how that's said. Phillips, Moody, Lee Dodge. We've got Sam McCallum, Setford, McAteer, Quasi, Moses Sesse, Kadamatri, Traore, and James Sexton. No one's good. We've got a good first team, and that's probably about it. I'm not too convinced we're going to stay in the league. Obviously, we will come back in a moment to January just to see how well things have gone on for the first part of the season. We are going to stick with the same formation. We're going to lock in one player, and that is Lee Dodge, because basically I'd rather get him better than just keep playing Ursulev. And I think it's working. Dodge is turning into a slightly better footballer. Anyway, let's jump forward then to the start of January. We'll take a look to see how this season has started. And if we are still mid-table, I will be a very happy man. Yeah, we're not mid-table anymore. It's now the 1st of January. We have dropped all the way down to 16th. In fact, when you look at those arrows, we were all the way down in 18th place and have just leapt over Bournemouth and Leicester. But the key thing is, we do have 2 games in hand against quite a few teams around us. We are doing so much better than last season. We got 19 points. We're literally 6 points away from what we finished on last season, and we're technically not even halfway through this one. So if we can continue to play how we have been playing, finish on 38 points, we should be fine. 38 points would have been enough for safety in that season, and that season maybe. It probably wouldn't. It might have been, depending on who got the 38 points. It would have been in that season as well. So 38 points it's not a bad target to go for, right? Obviously, the magic 40 is where we're aiming. Just having a very quick look as well. The Europa Conference League. I think we're doing quite well in the Europa Conference League. So we will have got through the group stage if I can actually, show the league. This one, main path, Champions League phase. That's the fella we want. We won the group. We won the group ahead of Atalanta in second place. 6 wins out of 6. Just 5 goals conceded. I'm pretty happy with how that's gone. I kind of would rather you perform like this in the Premier League, though, not the Europa Conference League. Anyway, the transfer window is open. We've got about £10 million to spend, which is not a lot of money at all. But we might see what we can do. Obviously, we've got some players in our squad that we can sell. The problem is we are over our wage budget by 5.4%, which equates to £100,000. That's a lot of money. We might need to sell somebody who's getting paid too much. Let's have a look. Who is getting paid too much? So contractually, sort by wages. Afan Gruber is on a lot of money, but I'm kind of okay with that. Shea Childs is on a lot. Fellows is on a lot. I mean, Fellows sounds like he's on too much. Bajdar sounds like he's on too much. Casey McAteer is definitely on too much. So is Bailey Cadamarteri. So there are players that we could move on if we can find somebody who's willing to take them. Willock as well is on too much money. He's worth £17.5 million. So we might see what we can do over January to just try and just trim down, I guess, the squad. Because I think we've got too many players who are getting paid too much money at the moment. Well, let's jump forward then to the end of January. See if we are going to spend this £10 million, but probably most likely what is going to happen is we're going to sell a bunch of people, aren't we? Or we'll loan out a lot of people and sell one. Armel Bella-Kotchap has been sold. He has moved to Altai in, I'm going to say, Saudi Arabia for £1.2 million. It wasn't a lot of money, but nobody was willing to pay any money for him. He was out of contract at the end of the season. We've just moved him on. We've got a bit of cash. I don't think it's really affected our wage bill a huge amount, though. We have managed to loan out, however, a lot of players who weren't playing for us, like Joe Willock. He's gone to Getafe. He is listed. He is leaving the club at the end of the season, if we have a look here as well. McAteer has gone to Birmingham. We've got Madison as well, not playing. He's gone to Hellas Verona over in Italy too. So we've got rid of some players who are kind of off the books, but also they're still on the books. We're paying less wages for them, but they're probably going to be coming back. We can just have a look here at our finances, if I can find our wages. So we are now considerably under, to be honest. But next season, we'll be back over it again once all those players return, because they're not going to sign for those clubs. Hellas Veronas are not going to be buying James Maddison. The other thing that's going on in the Premier League, we have played 5 more fixtures, and we've managed to get ourselves onto 23 points. So it's been okay. It's not been amazing. We've moved up, or stayed in 16th place, not quite sure. But we are still in this relegation scrap, just 2 points clear of Bournemouth. But we do have a game in hand. I'd like to kind of join this Brighton, Leeds, Forest, Spurs group of teams. That would be good, because at the moment there's 5 teams scrapping in the bottom, and we are currently the top of those 5. And I'd rather not even be in those 5 if we can help it. One thing we have managed to do, or I say managed to do, one thing we've kind of decided to do is lock in Rushworth, because he wasn't playing, and I think he is a better goalkeeper than Bazunu. Despite the fact he has played 10 games and conceded 18 and only kept 2 clean sheets, I think he's a better goalkeeper than Bazunu, and in theory, he's joining us at the end of the season, and he will be our number 1 goalkeeper when he joins on a permanent deal. So let's just set that up now. Bazunu, he's not getting better. He's okay. He's not getting better. He's 26. He's not necessarily like hit his development level, but he's not getting better. And that's my worry. So we're going to go for Rushworth for the second half of the season to see if he can do any better. Realistically, all we need to do is not get relegated. Sounds easy. My transfer dealings haven't been particularly good. We're just going to have to roll with it because the window's shut now. We can't do any more business. Well, the season has finished and we have luckily managed to stay in the Premier League. I'm not going to kind of tease you to find out whether we have managed to stay in the league, but there were a few key fixtures that helped us stay in the league, this being one of them against Manchester United at St Mary's Stadium. Marcus Rashford gets on the score sheet a couple of times. Bajdar finds Robinson, back to Bajdar, blasts it past Lunin. It's 1-0 after 15 minutes. This, by the way, I think is a Man United team that are battling for the title at this point, and we have managed to overdo them quite comfortably as well, by the way. This is literally right at the start of the second half, by the way. That kickoff was the start of second half, not from our goal that we scored. So Burrows finds Marcus Rashford on the left. Burrows back to Rashford, obviously the former Man United man, released on a free in the summer, cuts inside, blasts it past Lunin. It is now 2-0. And Marcus Rashford makes it 3 from the penalty spot. Mateus Cunha, I believe, is the man picking up a red card, giving away the penalty. Rashford blasts it into the opposite corner from Lunin. 3-0 up against Man United, and we're still not done. In the 95th minute of the game, Fellows plays it to Roerslev. Roerslev across in the middle, finds Tommy Doyle. By the way, Tommy Doyle, former Manchester City man, so I imagine he probably wants to score a goal as well against Man United. Bajdar collects it in the middle, finds Burrows, who has been superb for us this season, by the way. Rashford on that left-hand side. Is he going to do anything? No, he's not. This is going to be a highlight that's just going to take absolutely forever, isn't it? So we'll come back in just a second. I've just seen we managed to get a player sent off as well, who I'm not even sure who that was, but yeah, apparently we're down to 10 men. So it is 10 versus 10 at the moment as we enter the 96th minute of the match. Burrows on the ground finds Finazaz across to Rashford. Can he get himself a hat-trick? Takes his time, spins on the spot, plays it in the middle to Tommy Doyle when the former Manchester City man makes it 4-0 against Man United. For a relegation scrapping side, this is a ridiculously good victory. We didn't get a player sent off. It was Rashford's penalty. It's the beater that's not a beater, isn't it? That's the problem. That's what that red card was for. We also had in the final game of the season, way up north in Sunderland at the Stadium of Light against Sunderland, who were relegated at this point, by the way. We didn't technically need to win this game, but we decided to win it anyway. Robinson with the opening goal of the game after 19 minutes. Dodge and Robinson there combined age there, I think, of 40 years old between the pair of them. And we do double our lead on the 40th minute, or roughly the 40th minute. Rashford collects the ball from Finazaz, blasts it past the goalkeeper. I think it takes a lucky deflection, making it 2-0. Sunderland do get themselves a consolation goal right at the end of the game. But it is a 2-1 victory in the final game of the season, and we have stayed in the Premier League somewhat comfortably, right? 4 points clear of Leicester, who are in 18th place. We finished in 16th. We've stayed in the league 36 points. If you go back a few seasons, 36 points would have got us relegated in most of those seasons. But it hasn't got us relegated this time around. So I'm kind of okay with that. That's pretty good. Bournemouth getting relegated is interesting because they've got some players that could be worth poaching in the summer. In the other competitions, we did get knocked out of the FA Cup by Bournemouth by the looks of it. We got knocked out of the Carabao Cup, but it doesn't actually tell us who we got knocked out against, but that is fair enough. And we got knocked out of the Europa Conference League as well against AZ Alkmaar in the quarter-final stage. So we actually did not too bad. It was Atalanta versus Utrecht in the final. So we got to the quarter-final. Utrecht beating Servette. We got somewhat smashed. We lost 6-5 on aggregate against AZ Alkmaar. Nantes beating Başakşehir here. And Atalanta or Bergamo beating Augsburg. And then the semi-final was Utrecht beating AZ in an all-Netherlands semi-final. And then Nantes losing against Atalanta. And obviously the final, we've just kind of seen a 3-1 victory there for Atalanta. I'm kind of okay with that. I wasn't expecting to do too much. I've just seen we've got the most goals of 41 in the competition, though. It's quite a lot of goals. Which kind of says to me, someone scored a lot of goals, right? Who scored a lot of goals? Let's sort by goals. It is Bajdar. Rashford got 13 as well. We're going to start from 8 goals here. So Harrison Burrows as a left-back, 8 goals and 11 assists. 4 of them coming in the Europa Conference League. 4 of them coming in the Premier League as well. We've got Finazaz, 11 assists and 9 goals. He got 6th in the league, just 3 in the Europa Conference League. Again, another pretty good season. I think this is his first season, though, where he wasn't our top goal scorer. And I'm okay with that, because Bajdar just outscored him for fun. We've got Robinson, 10 assists and 9 goals as well. Most of his goals are actually coming in the Europa Conference League. Most of his assists coming in the league. He is wanted by Spurs and West Ham. I really don't want to sell you. And if we do sell him, I'd rather you go abroad. Duberson, who had some amazing times playing for, who was it, Elche? No, it was Sporting Gijon. Didn't do particularly well for us. 5 goals in the league, but 9 in all competitions. Good for a rotation player. I mean, he's an important player, but ignore that. Rashford, 13 goals and 8 assists. Actually did really well. 9 of those goals coming in the Premier League. 7 of the assists as well in the Premier League. Massive impact for just a 31-year-old Marcus Rashford. He's easily got another couple of seasons left in him. So this was really, really good signing, right? A really good signing. Like I said when we brought him in, unrealistic, but that's fine. And then at the top of the tree, it is Samed Bajdar with 21 goals, 10 of them in the Europa Conference League, 10 of them in the Premier League, and I assume one of them in an FA Cup or something like that, or the Carabao Cup. Maybe. No, yeah, Carabao Cup. There you go, one in the Carabao Cup. Fair enough. So Bajdar, our top goal scorer for the second season in a row by the looks of it. No assists, or not as many assists this time around, but he's done quite well. For a player who I just kind of randomly found, spent a lot of money, admittedly, did spend a lot of money on. He almost kept us in the Premier League last time around. I think he's definitely kept us in the Premier League this time around. Him and Rashford have been absolutely superb for us. When we sort by average rating, it's Harrison Burrows. I thought he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be the best player on our team good. A 7.92 average rating in the Europa Conference League, 7.1 in the league. He is wanted by Newcastle, West Ham and Al Ittihad. I don't want to sell him. I really don't want to sell him, but money talks. £60 million, Harrison Burrows can go to literally any club in the world. £60 million is also a huge amount of money, so I can't imagine that's going to happen. I've just seen as well, Lee Dodge and who else was it? Ronnie Edwards, 54 appearances each. They played in absolutely every single match. Ronnie Edwards played every match and he wasn't locked in. So that's pretty impressive. And he's not even that good, to be honest. Lee Dodge, obviously, he is locked in, so that's why he's played absolutely everything. And he is getting better. He's turning into a much better footballer. That's going to end it for Season 4. Season 5 will be the final season of this Southampton save. And I guess we just need to look upwards, don't we? I don't think we're going to be challenging for a title. We're not going to be winning a cup or anything like that. We're obviously not in a European competition. I just want to finish mid-table. Maybe push for one of the Europa Conference League spots. Possibly. I'd love to win the Carabao Cup again. But to be honest, the fact that we won it in the Championship is probably good enough for me. So last season with our Southampton side, we did manage to avoid relegation, finishing 16th place in the Premier League, well ahead of where we needed to be, with Leicester, Bournemouth and Sunderland going down. Season 5, which will be our final season in charge of Southampton, we've kind of got one goal, and that is to just, I guess, avoid a relegation scrap. I think we might still be in one, but it would be nice if we weren't. I'd love to finish sort of 10th to 13th place. That's kind of my ideal location. Obviously, we've got FA Cup, we've got Carabao Cup. I don't really care too much about either of those, and we're not in any European competition because we were only in European competition last season because we managed to win the Carabao Cup back down in the Championship. It is the 1st of June and we have already sold a few players, and this is one that I said at the end of last season that I wouldn't want to do unless silly money came in. It wasn't silly money, but it was obviously very good money. Harrison Burrows has moved over to Saudi Arabia. He's on £500,000 a week. He has gone to Al Ittihad for £35 million. Obviously, we've basically doubled our money there. In fact, we've more than doubled our money on Harrison Burrows. He was really good for us last season. We now need to try and replace him. He's not the only player that's gone for silly money. The next one's gone for even more. And that is Jay Robinson, who has moved over to PSG. He's gone for £47.5 million. The 22-year-old English left winger, and I guess a little bit of a right winger as well, has moved over to PSG. He's a squad player, so he might get the odd game here or there. It's a lot of money to pay for a player who isn't necessarily going to be getting a huge amount of football. Last season, much like Burrows, was really quite good for us. I mean, he wasn't actually amazing, was he? 6 assists, 2 goals, 27 starts in the league. And then £47.5 million moving over to PSG. It's obviously a nice big chunk of money. What is that? 47.5 plus 35 is 80, I don't know, a large number of money to spend. We've also sold Sam McCallum to QPR on a free transfer, but, you know, that doesn't really matter too much. And we have not wasted any time trying to strengthen our squad with all of that money. Obviously, the first player, though, isn't a person who's cost any money. It's a free transfer. It's Abdulkadir Kushanov, signed formerly of, it's Man City, isn't it? Is it Man City? Yeah, he was available on a free transfer, and I went, you know what, we'll bring him in. He cost £34.5 million, never really played for City, and we brought him in. I think that's a good signing, right? Also on a free transfer is Bazumana Toure, who is going to be that Jay Robinson replacement on that left-hand side. This transfer was actually done before Robinson was going to leave the club. There was no offer or anything. I was just like, he looks pretty good. I'll bring him in. He's 23. He looks pretty good. He's coming from Hoffenheim. Actually had 4 really good seasons when it comes to average rating, so I'm happy with that. Toure's probably going to get a lot more football now than I initially thought he would. We've also spent £10 million on a new left-back in the shape of Adam Asnou. It's probably too much money for the Moroccan international, but he's still only young and we do need ourselves a bit of a better left-back, and he is a slight improvement on what we initially had. Obviously, by initially had, we sold Harrison Burrows, so Asnou is the Burrows replacement. We don't really have too much depth outside of one left-back. We've got some children who've got high potential, but nobody who can walk straight into the first team. Asnou is going to have to play a lot of football that he's not necessarily ready for, but I think he's got the potential to do it. £10 million, like I said, it's a lot of money, but he's got a few games under his belt. He's got some experience in the Premier League, not a lot, but he's got some experience. He's got quite a bit of experience in the Championship as well for Everton, Middlesbrough, loan spell at Birmingham as well, some time at Valladolid, and obviously a bit of time at Bayern Munich as well. Just 2 matches, but it counts, right? We've also brought in a new number 1 goalkeeper because Carl Rushworth, who was our destined to be number 1 goalkeeper, I don't think is good enough. And it is Nicholas Hedl, the Austrian international goalkeeper, 4-star current ability, 4-star potential as well. £11.5 million from Rapid in Austria. I think this is good. This is a good business. This is sensible business. I know I say that a lot. Sensible business. This is sensible business. £11.5 million for a goalkeeper who is clearly an improvement on what we initially had at the club. And it wouldn't be a transfer window of mine without me buying somebody for probably too much money. Caleb Okoli, the 27-year-old Italian central defender, has been brought to the club for a whopping £18 million from recently relegated Leicester City. He did play quite a lot of football for Leicester over the last 5 seasons, but is 18 too much? I mean, he's good, right? He's a good player. I'm hoping it's not stupid that I've brought him in, but we brought in a few defenders. This is what we need to try and improve, I think. I looked at it and went, we're okay with scoring some goals. We've got some decent strikers, obviously, with Bajdar and with Rashford. Defensively is where we're a little bit weak, so hopefully Okoli can kind of shore that up. We've also done a few bits of loan spells, which technically happened last season, because now this is seeming to be working, which is quite nice. If we have a look, where do we start? It is about there. So Moses Sesse has gone on loan. No, Akachukwu is the first one. Akachukwu has gone on loan to Bradford. Sesse has gone to Huddersfield. We've got Michael Forbes to Leyton Orient. And we've got Takawaka. I have no idea. He's gone to Peterborough. And Dean Haynes has also gone to Leyton Orient. So we've done a lot of business so far. Obviously, the window has literally opened about a week or so ago. There is plenty of time for us to do a lot more business. And when you look at us financially, we do have £43.5 million worth of transfer budget to spend. We are 220,000 possibly over our wage budget, so we might need to try and trim that number down a little bit, so maybe there's going to be a bit more sales going on, but also I definitely think we can do some strengthening and bring in some other players too. So without further ado, let's jump forward then to the end of the transfer window. Let's see if we can do any more transfer business. The season will have kicked off, and it would be nice if we were sat about mid-table after the first normally like 3 or so games, isn't it? Let's go through the players that have left the club first. Joe Willock is the first name on that list. For £7.5 million, Crystal Palace have signed a player who didn't really play much for us at all. He went on loan to Getafe last season, and they brought him for £7.5 million. We've made a lot of money on a player who's not good enough for the Premier League, who was pretty good in the Championship, to be honest, but I'm happy with this. Joshua Kwasi has also left the club, signing for Parma over in Italy for £450,000. It is not a lot of money, but he just wasn't getting good. He was out of contract as well at the end of the season, so I thought, let's just take a bit of money while we can. For £1.1 million, Joe O'Brien Whitmarsh has left the club, signing for Elche in Spain. He wasn't really playing for us to get some money. He's obviously a pretty good deal for us, I think. For £3.5 million, Bailey Cadamarteri has also moved over to Parma, a player who, he was good at the time in it was season 1, wasn't it, that we brought him in, maybe even season 2, but yeah, he was good. He did the kind of job that we needed him to do. 7 goals in his first season, 10 goals in the Premier League, 3 in his 3rd season back down in the Championship, and yeah, basically we've kind of outgrown him. It's not a lot of money, it's a big loss, but realistically, doesn't matter because we're not going to be playing it beyond season 5. And the final player to leave on a permanent deal was Ashley Phillips. He moved over to Werder Bremen, a player that we brought in last season. He never kicked a ball for us and we sold him for £425,000. Nice, easy bit of money there. 4 more players then have joined the club on permanent deals. Carl Rushworth, obviously one that we were expecting to happen. He was our number 1 goalkeeper for the second half of last season. He is going to be a backup this time around. £3.3 million. Not a huge amount of money, to be honest. It is a waste. We didn't really need him, especially after we brought in Hedl, but the deal was already in place from the start of last year. On a free transfer, we have signed an 18-year-old Netherlands central defender, and he has come in from a team called AFC. I have no idea who this team are, but they have lots of players. They have lots of players who I really want to sign, and we might be signing all of them. It's kind of pointless to sign them all because they've got high potential. I assume they've got high potential, and we're obviously never going to see that. But yeah, he's come in on a free transfer. He's probably not going to play much, is he? Next up is Raphael Onyedika, who is a 28-year-old Nigerian defensive midfielder with 60 caps to his name. He's come in from Club Brugge for £11 million. It's quite steep, but he's had 4 really good seasons playing for Club Brugge, and I think he's a good player, right? He's on a lot of money. Ignore the wages. Ignore the wages. It's too much, I know. And finally, for £16 million, it's another Dutch youngster. This time it is Sweetbert Masenga, and yes, did kind of buy him partially because of his name is Sweetbert, and I thought that's quite a funny name. He's got 5-star potential. He's not necessarily good enough now, but he will probably get a bit of game time. I might lock him in. I'm not going to lock him in. We've got Rashford. There's no point in locking in old Sweetbert here, but he'll get some game time. I think it's fine. We're experimenting. It's a beat to save. And that is all the transfer business that we have done. So we've actually sold a lot of players. £13.5 million there. But then obviously if we jump back to this season, it was 103 million if you take off the 4.7 and whatever you have there. So it was a lot of money, basically. It was a lot of money that we brought into the club. We didn't sell a massive amount of players either. If we jump forward very quickly, I want to have a look as well at players who have left on loan, because there are quite a few. So we have got Comley to Stevenage. We've got Sexton and Wright going to Goztepe. Cambridge have picked up Kemal Wald. Dylan Moody has gone to Stockport. Whittaker to Partick Thistle. Charlie Setford to Oldham. Dorrington has gone to Reading. I think the Dorrington to Reading one is going to be quite a useful thing there. We've got McAteer to Birmingham. For some reason, that is after the Ashley Phillips one, when I've ordered by fee. That doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the Dorrington one, it's interesting, because one of the comments on the season 4, when I signed him, was, that's a really good signing, and I'm just not seeing it. So we've loaned him out to the Championship. Maybe he'll get a decent amount of game time there, and he'll come back for the end of the season and will actually look like a really good footballer. But yeah, we wasted money. It's fine. When it comes to tactics and players that we are locking in, obviously we are sticking with the same formation that we have played for all 4 previous seasons. Lee Dodge will keep his place as that right back. He's getting good. He is now 2.5-star current ability, still 5-star potential on Lee Dodge. And then on the left wing, we are locking in Bazumana Toure, not necessarily because he won't play there, but I think if we actually do this, is it that one? Yeah, they'll play Rashford, they'll play Bajsdal, they'll play Dubison, they'll play anyone other than Toure, so I want Toure to be playing there. If we do a very quick pick here by best 11, you can see, there you go, Rashford moves over to the left-hand side, Bajsdal, Azaz, Fellows, Onyedika and Charles in the middle, Asnu, Affengruber, Kushinov, Dodge, and Heddle. Dodge is actually our best right-back. That's interesting, wasn't expecting that. The other things that have obviously gone on is the season has kicked off and we are down in 15th place. It's not been the best start. We haven't won yet. We've drawn twice. We have lost once. We've also managed to get through the Carabao Cup first round as well. So if we have a look here, we lost to Chelsea. We drew with Everton and we drew with Nottingham Forest. We did beat Bristol City 4-3, which is not the best result in the grand scheme of things, but a 4-3 victory is a 4-3 victory. We do have to play Chelsea, however, in the next round where we'll probably get knocked out in that one. Right then, let's jump forward to the start of January, I guess. See if we can kind of... Mid-table is the target. Mid-table is the target. That's where I want to be. So let's jump forward, see how things are going. It's not amazing, but it's not awful. 14th place in the table. We've got 23 points. We are the worst of the rest, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. We are... What is that? If we add 10 points onto our current total, we would be 3rd. If we take 10 points of our current total, we'd be 18th. So we're at the wrong end of the table, but we're sort of somewhere in the middle when it comes to points, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Obviously, we want to be sort of mid-table, but yeah, still plenty of football still to play. Obviously, being the 1st of January, the transfer window has already opened, and we've already spent a bit of money bringing in 2 players to the club. We have signed another Netherlands central defender, youngster as well. It is Senna Koolwijk. He has been signed from AFC, the team that I mentioned earlier. I mean, he's good, right? He just looks like a decent player. He's got 2.5-star current ability. Obviously not going to play for us anytime soon, but I'm just experimenting. He's probably going to be going out on loan to Cardiff, Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday, or Watford as well. So he'll actually get some game time. And did I need to do this? No, I didn't, but we brought in a 19-year-old youngster called Bartosz Siedlecki? Bartosz Siedlecki. Sure, we'll go with that. He is a 19-year-old German central midfielder. He has come in from SV Wehen Wiesbaden, might be their name, in the 3rd division. He's cost £1.2 million, which is probably a little bit on the steep side. But I looked at him and he looks pretty good. He's got nice high determination. He might get good in the future. Obviously, we're not going to play beyond Season 5. I don't know why I've done it. I do this every single time. And that is the transfer business we have done so far. Obviously, the window is still open for a fair amount of time. If we have a very quick look at the finances, we have got £26 million to spend. We are under our wage budget too. I've obviously rejigged some numbers around to make sure we are compliant there. So yeah, there's some room. In the January transfer window, there's some room to do some big transfers. I do want to point out very quickly, when it comes to goals scored, we are not really scoring massive amounts of goals at the moment. Finazaz, top goal scorer with 6. Rashford's got 5. We've got Asnu as a left-back on 4. Traore, Bajdar, Bouabre all getting 2 apiece. Edwards and Affengruber on 1 apiece. So scoring is a bit of a problem. Maybe we need to look at getting in another striker, a better striker than Rashford, which is a weird thing to say. But Rashford is 31 now. He's 32 now. He's still good. We're not going to improve on Rashford, are we? Let's be honest. Right, time to go forward then to the end of the January transfer window. See how we can do. I'd like to obviously climb up the table a little bit. And obviously we've got £26 million to spend. So let's spend a bit more money. First thing we're going to do before we get to transfers is take a look at the league table, where we have moved up to 13th place. 31 points. So we've actually not had a horrific January. I think we've won once, we've drawn twice, and we've lost twice, judging by the form there, obviously. So we've climbed a little bit. We are, 19 to 31, so that is 12 points clear of a relegation scrap. If we add 12 onto that, that'll be 43 points. We'd actually be pushing for Champions League football. So I'm happy with where we are in the table. We are stuck in between relegation and Champions League football, which is where I was hoping we'd be. I'd like to be a little bit further away from this relegation scrap, but we are 12 points away, so maybe we are far enough away at the moment. Oh, I didn't mention this earlier, by the way. We did lose to Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. We got smashed 3-0, so yeah, we're not in that. We are in the FA Cup, however. Transfer business, then leaving the club. We have sold James Maddison because he didn't really play for us. He has moved over to Torino for £1.3 million. He played 4 times for us. We loaned him out to Hellas Verona's. He played all right there, 12 appearances, and now Torino have picked him up for £1.3 million. So goodbye, James. Have a lovely time in Italy. Also leaving the club is Alfie Dorrington. He has moved over to Crystal Palace for £7.5 million. I just took the money. Should we have taken the money? It doesn't really matter. I've done it now, but yeah, I didn't necessarily see a future for him. He obviously spent some time on loan at Reading, 15 appearances. He did all right, didn't do anything amazing. 6.81 average rating is actually pretty good, but Palace came in for 7.5 and went, let's just cut our losses. Doesn't matter. It's a beta save. This is our last year in charge. We've also brought in 2 new faces as well. Yunus Multari is an 18-year-old Moroccan left-back signed from Ajax. I needed a bit more competition for Adam Asnu, and we've decided to buy another Moroccan because I'm pretty sure Asnu is also Moroccan. He's cost £6 million. It's steep for a player who's 2-star current ability, but I think he should be good enough to kind of challenge Asnu. So we've got ourselves 2 left-back options now. And the other player to join the club is an 18-year-old new-gen wonder kid. Is he a wonder kid? I don't even know how we'll find that out, but it is Valentin Mansilla, the Argentine. No caps so far. 18 years of age, signed from River Plate, had a ridiculously good season so far, I guess, or maybe that was last season because of the way their seasons work. 16 goals in 25 league appearances, £15.5 million is good money. I think that's a very good amount of money to spend on this player. He could be worth considerably more. He's already worth £48 to £65 million as well. Can we find out if he's a wonder kid? He is a wonder kid. It's over here. Media description, wonder kid. So we've brought in probably our first wonder kid in FM26. We've probably got plenty of others. Like I imagine Sweetbert. Is he a wonder kid? He's just a striker. Lovely. Speaking of Sweetbert, by the way, he's currently out on loan at Middlesbrough. We have loaned out a few people if we have a look here. So we know Maddison's gone to Torino. Woolwijk has gone on loan, but it says to Southampton. He's gone to Cardiff. We've also loaned out the other guy, Huizing. He has gone on loan to Huddersfield. We need to then go back down here. So Gilder has gone to Stockport. Kian Ellis has gone to Oxford. Foley to Preston. Archibald to Stockport. Sweetbert has gone to Middlesbrough. So there we go. I have just seen, you've actually got the stats here. Like, this is actually really good. I like that, because then you can just sort by goals and see Josh Wright, on loan at Göztepe, has got 7 goals and 25 appearances. It's not amazing for a striker, but the fact he's doing it is quite nice. So with those new transfers, what has that meant for our starting 11? Well, it means that Mansilla is going to get locked in. I did think that maybe we wanted to replace Rashford. I had a look. Obviously, I scoured every corner of the earth and landed in South America because that's probably the easiest place to find a decent striker, and Mansilla was the man to stand out. So we have picked him up and plopped him straight into that starting 11. If we actually do the best 11, I imagine Traore gets dropped, Rashford goes over there, Bajdar is still our main striker. Really? Bajdar's got 3 goals this season in 23 starts. I feel like you're not that good at the moment. So we're obviously going to be putting faith in Mansilla. It's interesting that Dodge is still our best right back, and obviously on that left-hand side, it won't be Rashford, it will be Toure. Well, last thing to do then is jump to the end of the season. Are we going to win the FA Cup? Spoiler alert, we're not going to win the FA Cup. And are we obviously going to stay in the Premier League? And would we be possible even to qualify for a European competition through league performances alone? Probably not, but if we can finish 10th to 13th, that'll be a successful season. We were so close. We were so close finishing 10th to 13th. We finished 14th place, finishing on 49 points. Our goal difference is negative 22. Defensively is our problem, right? We've conceded 67 goals. It's not the worst, obviously. You've got Norwich on 76. You've got Fulham on 79. But 67 goals is a lot of goals to concede. We are one of the worst goal differences, really, when you consider where we finished in the table. I would have liked to be around 0. Like, the closer to 0, the better for kind of the team of our level and our sort of position in the league. That's not good. But it doesn't matter. Obviously, we have managed to stay in the league. Have we managed to win the FA Cup? No, we got knocked out by Man United in a 4-1 defeat in, I'm going to assume, probably the 4th round quarterfinal. It might have been the quarterfinal. 5th round. 5th round by Man United. 3rd round of the Carabao Cup by Chelsea. And obviously, we have finished in 14th place in the league. It looks like the final few months of the season kind of let us down. So in March, we picked up 3 points. Good draw against Man City and a good draw against Newcastle. But losing, obviously, to Spurs, drawing with Ipswich, not great. Beating West Ham and Fulham's good, but losing to Brighton is not great. Drawing with Man United, obviously, is pretty good as well. Losing to Palace, losing to Arsenal, and a final draw in the last game of the season against Norwich. If we had just won that game, we would have finished in 13th place, right? In fact, we probably would have finished in 12th place. We could have even finished in 11th place if we hadn't conceded 67 goals. So looking at the squad then, obviously we did lock in a few players, which we'll come to in just a moment, but our top goal scorer is Marcus Rashford. 11 goals for the season, 10 of them coming in the league. I'd love to know how to find out what position he played in, because right wing, we played him on the right-hand side for the most part. That's not good. I don't want you playing on the right wing. We've got right wingers to do that job. Finn Azaz finishing on 9 goals as our second top goal scorer. I imagine he was probably playing just behind the strikers. Yes, he was. I mean, Azaz has been good for Saints in this. Not in real life, but in this he's been pretty good. We've got Mansilla, who did get 6 goals in the end, 5 in the league, 1 of them coming in the FA Cup. I think Mansilla's good. I like the look of Mansilla. Obviously, he would get better in time as well. We've got Charles, Asnu and Bajdar all on 5 goals apiece. Shea Charles, there was some interest in Shea Charles, by the way, over the summer. I just ignored it, basically. And, they just kind of went away. So, Shea Charles is still here. 5 goals, 4 assists in the league. 1 assist as well in the FA Cup. I want to sort by assists, actually. And who have we got? Lee Dodge at the top of the tree with 10 assists. Not a single goal to his name. This man's a physical beast. 18 acceleration, 16 agility and balance and pace and stamina, 17 natural fitness. He can't jump to save his life, and his strength isn't amazing. But for a right back, I don't really care if he can jump or not. It doesn't matter. He's not going up for corners too much, is he? I mean, Lee Dodge is good. He's got himself 10 assists. Well done, bud. Second place is Bazumana Toure, who I would have liked more goals from Toure, to be honest. He did play a lot of football. He got 4 goals, just 2 in the league, 8 assists, though, which is pretty good. His XG was 5. Just under 5, so I would have hoped he would have been nearer 5 goals. The fact that he didn't get close to that is kind of annoying, to be honest. Well, that draws this save to an end then. 5 full seasons in charge of Southampton. We were promoted via the playoffs. We were relegated, finishing bottom of the table. We were promoted as champions of the Championship and won the Carabao Cup as well. We then managed to stave off relegation in Season 4 and finish a respectable 14th place in Season 5. I think we've built a decent squad here as well. We've improved in many, many positions. We've got rid of a lot of dead wood, which is, in all honesty, as a Saints fan, big problem that we've got with the squad at the moment. There's a lot of players who aren't necessarily good enough, and we've kind of managed to clear those out. I think this was pretty successful. If we were to do 5 more seasons, I think we'd be starting to push for sort of Champions League spots within a couple of more years' time. So I think we've taken this Saints side not as far as we can, but as far as we are going to do.